I'm going to call the Cordele City Commission for July the 21st to order. Right now, I would just like to thank everybody for coming today. And man, we got a packed house here. It's great to see everybody, and thank y'all all for coming. At this time, I'm going to ask Dr. Lakeisha Law if she would come give us an invocation, please.
Heads, please. Heavenly gracious Father, we come before you today with grateful hearts, thanking you for your blessing of this city and for every person who calls it home. We acknowledge that every good gift comes from you, and we ask for your presence to rest upon this community and this city. Lord, we pray for our city. May it be a place of peace, unity, compassion, and hope. Bless every family, every neighborhood, every business, every school, every church, every person. Help us to care for one another and to work together for the good of all. We lift up our city leaders to you. We ask that you would grant them the wisdom, the discernment, integrity, and courage as they make decisions that affect the lives of so many people. Your word tells us that the heart of the king is in your hand, like the rivers of water. So we know that you can turn everything back to you. So Father, we ask that you will guide our hearts and the hearts of those in authority, and to turn the hearts of your people back to you, that we may seek your ways above our own. We pray for the young people of our city. Surround them with your protection, give them purpose, and raise up mentors who will lead them in truth and love. Help them to make wise choices and to discover the plans you have for their lives. We also pray for our law enforcement officers, the first responders, and all who serve and protect our community. Watch over them as they carry out their daily duties. Give them wisdom in difficult moments, strength for every challenge, and safe passage as they return home to their families each day. Lord, let justice be tempered with mercy, leadership marked by humility, and our community filled with kindness and respect. Heal what is broken in our city, restore what has been lost, and unite us in a spirit of service and love. May everything we do today bring honor to you and promote the welfare of this city. We ask all these things in your mighty name, Jesus. And we all say amen, amen, and amen.
Thank you, Dr. Law. Troop 270 is working on a merit badge. At this time, I'm going to ask them if they would lead us in the pledge, please.
Attention, salute, pledge. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, is there a motion to approve today's agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion approved. Okay, at this time we're going to open the public hearing. The public hearing's purpose is to hear the dissolve the Board of Zoning Appeals. You want to go ahead with that?
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor. On July the 16th, the Planning Commission met to discuss a couple of matters, one of which being the dissolving of the BZA. Several questions arose. One, how was the BZA formed? Why did the Planning Commission have the authority to consider dissolving the board? Those questions were answered. That resulting vote, they had a couple of issues that resulted in the vote. Two of the issues were, one, the way the new proposal of the BZA was presented. They were afraid the City Commission has enough on their plate at this time that they would not be able to effectively dedicate the time to to hearing the BZA appeals. And two, that the mere threat of potential litigation was not sufficient enough to warrant dissolving the BZA. So therefore, they cast a vote to not move forward with dissolving the BZA. and
Okay.
that was on July the 16th.
Okay. All right. This is a public hearing, so public comment is open at this time. Is there anybody that would like to speak? Okay.
Good morning, Commissioners. Good morning, everyone. This is full crowd, I surely tell you. My name is Ronald Michael. I am the Vice Chairman of the Zoning Board of Appeals. I was ill last week and in the hospital, and I wasn't able to go to the Planning Commission meeting. And I didn't know what was going on, so I wasn't able to prepare a statement. But from what I was told by somebody that we weren't elected to be board members on the zoning board, but it's partially true and partially untrue. The zoning board members were sworn in by this commission, or the previous commission, I believe it was. I don't think anybody's been in this since January. I know as myself, I know the other board members, when we get our packet of what's being proposed to be looked at, we go out, we take our time, we go out and we look at these places and we look at how it impacts the community. The biggest thing is we live in the community. So we as the board members, we go out to these places and look at what's going on because, we're the ones that has to live here. A lot of outside companies will come in and they'll want to do something in the city that really shouldn't, we don't think should be done the way they want it done, but they don't understand that they don't live here. They're just wanting to make, they're just out to make money. We actually live here and it impacts us. And just like I guess they said at the other meeting, it takes the weight off of this board for us to hear these things. And I think it would hurt the city actually to dissolve this board. We don't meet a lot. There's not a lot of things we have to really meet on or anything, but we do. We meet once a month, and we hear kind of like this board here does. We hear what the developers or whoever's doing something says, and we hear what the city people have, because we have an open forum just like is here that I'm on here doing today. And I haven't been able to get with the other board members and talk to them, but I think that the board should stay in place because we all are comfortable with the board. We have a full board right now, I believe, and we like what we do. We like being a part of the city, and we like helping the city out. And of course, in turn, we like helping out the commissioners because that's something, the weight they're taking off of you guys, because you guys have so many other things to do. And when stuff comes before the Zoning Board of Appeals, it came before the Planning Commission, and questions have been arisen that the Zoning Board hears, and that's where we come in, and we sit up here and we hear what's going on. And if we have a problem that we really don't understand completely, we had one a couple months ago, and we asked Mr. Cotton, the city attorney, to come in, and he'll help us with things that do happen. But I do believe that the board should stay in place, and that's really all I got to say about that. And of course, it's y'all's decision what you want to do with that board, but I just wanted to let you guys know exactly what we are doing to be out to help. We help the city the best we can because we actually live in the community. And I want to iterate that we are picked by the commission and sworn in by this commission. So when people say, oh, you guys weren't elected. Well, we weren't elected, but we were elected by the board.
You were appointed.
Oh, yeah, appointed, yeah.
Yeah,
Yes, ma'am, I'm sorry. Yeah, we were appointed by this board. So this board had enough faith in us as individuals when we come up to be placed on this board. So that's really all I wanted to bring up and say if there's any questions.
One other correction. He said Mr. Cotton, our attorney name is Coleman.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Did I hear that right?
Hey, probably because I had a heart attack last week, so I'm still recovering from that. So I'm not.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Yeah. Mr. Coleman. Mr. Coleman's been a great asset to us because we had an issue that came up and like, you know, the certain individuals, they brought their attorneys in and we didn't know exactly how we were supposed to move forward with certain things. And he came in and he told us, you know, this happens this way for a reason, this happens this way for a reason. And he would even tell you that our zoning laws are very complex here. He said one of the most complex he's seen. But, you know, we've been to a couple classes already to learn exactly, you know, how to do the things that we do up here. So, is there any questions from anybody about anything that I may be able to answer?
Does anybody have any questions for Mr. Michael? Okay. Thank you, Mr. Ryan.
Thank you for letting me speak, and you all have a great day. And I need to speak to you after the meeting.
Yes, sir.
Is there any other public comment? Mr. Coleman, do you have anything you want to add?
No, sir. Any questions y'all have about it, I'll be happy to answer. It's a quasi-judicial board. It, of course, has the final decision on certain variances and conditional uses, that kind of thing. I think that's what prompted the commission to look at this. It's up to you. It's created by an act of the Cordele City Commission.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, I think we need to thank them for serving as the zoning board of appeals for the years they've served. We appreciate them want to be a part of the community and by serving. So as we consider, we take into consideration what they've requested.
Well, just to clarify, just for the public, the city commission appoints board members for numerous boards. With everybody here, we'd love to have some of y'all on some of these boards. It'd be great to have some people volunteer for their input. There's lots of boards that come to the city commission for an appeals process. The Board of Zoning Appeals is not one of those. So anything that goes before the Board of Zoning Appeals would be a final decision by that board and wouldn't come before the commission. Has been the issue with the Board of Zoning Appeals. So is there any other public comment? If not, we're going to move forward, close the public hearing at this time and move into our regular meeting. At this time, is there an approval for the regular minute meetings for July the 7th?
Mr. Mayor,
Okay.
I'd like to ask a question, please. The last meeting, we had the work session for the budget. Is that considered a submission date for the budget? Would that be considered a submission date?
I think you probably would. You had a notice, did you not? And submitted the budget for the public to examine. Did you?
We did not submit
You didn't?
no, sir, because it was a budget review,
Okay.
where a budget was presented to the commission for review. It was not announced as a budget proposal. We do have one slated for the 22nd tomorrow, which will come as a public hearing.
So in that case,
That case, you have to have the budget available for the public to review a week in advance.
And that's what the public hearing is announcing.
Tomorrow. Okay.
and that one's going to be, okay,
It'll run tomorrow for 7 days.
for 7 days.
Well, there's a 7-day window of review.
Okay.
You have to have a submission before we can run it.
No, you kind of do it simultaneously.
Yeah.
I think it'll be all right to submit it tomorrow and have it available for the public inspection.
We don't have a hearing.
Have a public hearing slated for July.
Y'all need to speak so we all can hear you
I'm
all.
sorry. Public hearing slated for July the
Sorry.
30th. It will come out in tomorrow's paper.
Okay.
And then
The next one is August 6th.
August 7th.
Seventh, okay.
And that's to comply with the OCGA states a 1 week waiting period. So
Yes, sir.
that's 1 week and 1 day
Yes, sir.
to make sure we comply with the week period.
Does it say a calendar day?
It says a week. It doesn't say what day that week starts on. It's on the day it's presented.
I say that
Or
because
is it the following day?
I know that there's an issue with a commissioner not going to be able to be there, and that's this is something when you vote that all of us should be here if at all possible, and we can't delay that. So if it doesn't say anything other than a calendar day, for instance, in ball, in pitching, it says calendar day. Okay, so that specifies. So we're maybe a little bit more specific than the state of
It does
Georgia.
not say,
It
the
says-
GA states a week, it says a week.
Just says a week. So that can be right down to the minute and say 9 o'clock in the morning on August the 6th. Whatever. I'm just saying, because I'm wanting to be specific for the sole purpose of saying that we all need to be here. And we got one that's got a pre-planned, prepaid, so forth, got to go, so forth and so on, and this is a called meeting, so I don't see any reason not to
You
make
can
it
always
that
use
way.
your phone call visit.
No, he can't call in, so.
Okay.
That's me, in case
Yeah.
anybody don't know. There's no way I can call, because where I'll be, it won't be accessible for that day, Now, it says
How long will
7
it be
days.
before you be back? Then let's see if we can work around your schedule then. What day will you be back? The 8th, 9th?
Well, we can do it August 6th, before I leave. I'm leaving 12
Well,
o'clock.
that will be within the 7 days?
That'll be 7 days, exactly.
But usually 7 days
That'll
for,
be 7 days exactly, but that's my point. When it says 7 days, does that include the day that the ad runs, or is the day
If we
after?
get-
As a rule of thumb, I've used
If we
with a
get
7-day
calendar days,
window,
the
7
day
plus
after.
1.
We count, the days are counted in the code the day after you make the notice.
Okay, that's what I was getting at. I didn't know if it said that.
Saturday begins. Saturday.
7 plus 1, basically.
Well, you don't count the day you put it in there.
Right, right.
Or so you do something that counts from again, from the next day.
we have a proxy and his award to vote for him.
Okay.
And you already put the ad,
Mhm.
it's already in there?
Can we do that?
Not yet,
I don't know.
tomorrow,
Okay.
Yes,
because
Can
otherwise.
can you change it?
Ms. Beth, she's got a good question.
Mr. Attorney, I have a question. Can he appoint a proxy in his ward to?
No, ma'am.
He can't, okay, just,
Can't vote in.
okay, we tried, George.
It is what it is. I've looked at it budgetly for
One
it.
one of the issues we have also is because the newspaper only runs one time per week.
On
Wednesday, you have to have the ad in by the prior Friday. If we wait and announce another, or the proposal to adopt the budget, it will be August the 5th before we can ever get it in the paper. So then you're looking at additional 7 days, you're looking somewhere around 12th, 13th of August at the earliest.
Well, the dispatch actually runs every day when you count the video, because they put up on the webpage every single day, which is part of their prescription advertising and so forth and so on. So I wonder, does that count?
No, I don't think so.
Well, I tried. Try it again.
A lot of things. in the
When will
code
you
for
return,
notices haven't
sir?
kept up with technology.
Hopefully, I'll return Sunday. If everything doesn't go great, I'll return Sunday. If it goes great, I might not never come back. Take you with me? No, I'll be back Sunday.
That's for
Ma'am?
August of what?
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11,
That's August the 9th, and then the 10th is the Monday.
10th, Monday.
Yeah.
But you will be there for the public hearing on the 30th, correct?
I'll be here for the public hearing. Could we push the public hearing up one day?
It's all a matter of the notices and getting it in the paper on time.
Yeah.
Well, at that time, the only thing afterwards will be the adoption of the budget. If you're not here, you still have a quorum. So you have your opportunity prior to be here for the presentation during the public hearing.
If you don't want me here, Mr. Manager, I won't be here. I'll just go enjoy myself.
I'm not gonna say that.
I know, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding,
I'm
folks.
just making the point that we will still have a quorum present for the
That's right.
adoption, and that's all it will be.
You still have a quorum. I mean,
Yeah.
it is what it is.
But we've already been here for 30th, the hearing.
We got a good commission, so I know we're we're doing what's right for Cordele. So I'm good with it. I'll cry all day that day.
Okay. So then you got your question answered about the presentation of the budget.
I'm really not satisfied with that but that's okay. If y'all satisfied, I'll be satisfied.
Okay, so is there a motion to approve the regular minute meetings from July 7th?
So move.
Second.
Okay, motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion approved. At this time, we have a speaker appearance. This is going to be for 5 minutes. This is going to be Ms. Hope Henderson and Adrian Slocum, and that's for the funding of the Cordele Chris Carnegie Library.
Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, I'm Hope Henderson. I'm the Director of the Lake Blackshear Regional Library System, which includes the Cordele Chris Carnegie Library. I am here to ask that you consider adding to our budget. As I'm sure you know, insurance has gone up for all state employees this last year. We've been kind of absorbing, it's been going up every year, and we've been kind of absorbing that without asking for any extra money. But this year our portion jumped from $13,000 per year per full-time employee to $23,000 per year per full-time employee. And our library has one full-time employee, which is our manager, Adrian Slocum. And yes, that's Adrian. She does a great job. We also have very dedicated circulation staff, part-time employees. And right now they are getting paid minimum wage. And we require them to know a lot, do a lot. They're very dedicated employees. We appreciate them so much because we know they could go to Chick-fil-A and make a lot more money per hour than they do at the library. I think your employees are worth more than minimum wage. And so I'm here to request additional funding on top of the increase in insurance to give the part-time employees a $2 an hour raise. So that they can, have a little breathing room in their lives. We all know living isn't cheap right now. Adrian has been here. She works hard. She hasn't had a raise in a few years. So seeing her get a $2 an hour raise would be wonderful too. So I did prepare kind of at the last minute, so it's not as wonderful as it could be. Community impact report. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have. But as you know, our whole library system, all of our 4 counties, we live in a high poverty area. So many people count on the library. You cannot apply for the simplest job anymore by walking into a business and applying. Almost everybody requires it to be online. And there's a big gap between the people who have the internet available to them all the time and the people who don't. And the people who don't count on the library. We have high-speed internet, we have public computers, we have Wi-Fi, they can check out laptops, they can check out hotspots, they can come in and apply for jobs. There's a lot the library does that I don't think the wider community knows. We are working very hard to get that out. We are starting to see, our numbers dropped desperately during COVID, as they did for everybody. And those people coming into the library, those numbers are starting to really become pre-COVID numbers. We've worked very hard to make that happen. Adrian does a great job. She has a lot of programs. There's a programming calendar on the website. We do reach, I think we had 100 just in the last quarter of the first quarter of the calendar year, the third quarter of our fiscal year. We checked out 15,000 books and 16,000 non-book items, be that DVDs, computers, stuff like that. And we had over 100 in-person and virtual programs that drew over 3,000 attendees or viewers if they were online. So we are reaching people in the community, and we feel like we have a really big impact on the community, and we're just asking for your support.
Okay. Commissioners, y'all have any questions?
One question.
Yes, sir.
When you said your medical
Yes, sir.
cost, so the members at the Carnegie Library are under the state of Georgia's retirement system, like the teachers and so forth? It's the
Yes,
same?
sir. Adrian is the only full-time employee at the library, and she is under the state health benefit plan. And just like all the teachers,
Yeah.
they know it went up thankfully, we as
It
individuals
goes
don't
up
pay
every
it.
year. It's the most expensive health plan.
Yes,
in the
it
whole world.
is, but
If I've ever seen one.
this is
Yeah.
the year that it's gone up so much. But she's our one employee here in Cordele that is on state health benefit plan, teachers retirement, stuff like that.
Okay.
The rest of the employees are part-time. They work very hard.
So I'm not sure if this is for David or you, Miss Hope, I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
All right, so the city, through an intergovernmental agreement with the county, is over the library
Yes, sir. It is.
and over the cemeteries, and the county has the recreation. Now, funding for salaries, is that, because they're not city employees, so we maintain the library and provide through our budget, we're responsible for maintenance and upkeep and things like that. But salaries, is salaries on us as well?
No, sir. You are correct. In 1999, we entered into an intergovernmental agreement under House Bill 489 to eliminate duplication of services. The city took over the library as one of the conditions of that. Our responsibility was to maintain the facility, maintenance and operating expenses. The employees thereof are employees of the Lake Blackshear Regional Library System.
Okay.
In this year's budget, we have increased the budget 14% in the library fund to accommodate some costs that we've incurred as well, from $194,000 to over $220,000, so 14% increase. But as far as benefits, salaries, those employees are not city employees, and we do not contribute to those funds.
They are paid by the Lake Blackshear Regional Library, and but we do depend on our 11 funding agencies, of which you are one, to make that happen.
So is there a contribution, I guess, that we give to the Lake Blackshear Regional to help offset salaries, or is it all just funding of the building?
It's all funding of the building, lawn care, operating utilities, electricity, maintenance. That's all we provide. We're not giving anything towards salaries or benefits.
So we will have to consider a contribution from the city straight to the Lake Blackshear Regional.
Yes, sir.
And then they could disperse the proceeds however,
Yes, sir.
if we were to consider.
You want to do that through contingency funds or whatever you want to do with it. There's not a line item for salary or benefits. Our contribution to them will solely take care of the building and grounds.
Yep. I'm all for the regional library. I'm not knocking that down.
Yes,
okay?
sir.
God bless y'all and the work you do and so forth and so on. I'm just more of a Cordele first type guy. Is there any way that what we contribute goes to our people here?
I don't know that there's an easy way to answer that. So the library does have 11 funding agencies, including the state. And from that budget, so what percentage is coming out of the Cordele money versus the state money versus the money from Sumter County, City of Americus, Schley County? What percentage of that is going to each individual salary? I could not tell you.
Okay.
Now, I could pull up our budget and tell you what percentage of our overall budget is going to overall salary. I'd have to take out the people who are funded by the state. My salary is funded by the state. We have 3 librarian positions that are state funded. And then everything else is funded out of the greater library budget, which includes all of the funding agencies.
Gotcha.
I think what Commissioner Wright and I both are saying the same thing. If we were to give a lump sum to the regional library, that doesn't necessarily mean it's gonna help our local employee.
It does, because that is what I am asking for. If y'all give us that money, that is what's going to fund raises for the part-time employees that work here in
Yeah,
Cordele
that's
at this
what I wanted to
library.
know.
That's what.
Yes, sir. No, I'm sorry, I misunderstood
Okay.
you. I thought, as it is now, it's just everything goes into the pot, it gets dispersed back out. If you give us this increase, those monies will go to support these folks because I'm hitting up everybody at all of our funding agencies.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, before we even think about that, should not the county be involved in, if we're gonna supplement, that's what, it sounds like what she's asking for is a supplement of the salary. And should not the county be funding that too?
I would say probably not based on the intergovernmental agreement because of that's what I'm gonna say.
Well, you just read that it's for maintenance and care of the building.
But I still think it would fall under the intergovernmental agreement. But, Mr. City Attorney?
Look, Mr. Mayor, I think generally what y'all did, or what everybody did in Georgia, was divide up services between the city and county. Sounds like y'all took responsibility, David, for the library. They took responsibility for other things.
Yes, sir.
So there's a precedent there.
Yes, sir. I think they would resist that. I would if I were them.
Yeah.
Mr. Mayor, if I may,
Yes.
I was at a meeting in Savannah last week, and it was alleged that the state of Georgia have over 15 billion in discretionary funds. Have you talked to our Senator Summers or Representative Williams?
We talk through the state library to the legislature all the time. They actually gave us some extra money, and then our governor line item vetoed it. So that went away.
But reach out to the ones in this area,
Yes,
if they can
ma'am.
have a little pool for us. You understand what I'm saying? They're representing us. So if the money's
Right,
there.
no, I agree.
I don't know if that 15 billion there like they told me, but if 15 million, whatever, can we reach out to our,
We do reach out to, yes. Carton Summers is one of our representatives. His
Senator and Noah Williams?
Senator, yes. His mother was on the local library board for 40 years, and yet he consistently votes against us.
Well, they could write a little check out of all that right there. Just
Well,
letting you know
yes,
my
if
vote.
it exists, they certainly could, but, you know.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
Mr. Wade,
Yes, sir.
what's the deficit? What's the budget right now, total?
Right at $22 million for the new proposed budget
Are
will be.
we short?
We are.
How much are we short?
I don't have the latest, I don't have the latest July.
July ain't over
numbers
yet.
yet, so I don't know.
The revenues were projected at 20
Yeah.
million, so if the budget's 22.1
We're 2 million
or
short.
2, we're $2 million short, 2 plus.
22.2, yes, sir.
Okay.
Also want to note in the legislative budget, your contingency funds were cut. They were cut in half, actually, so you have $25,000 in contingency funds for the coming year. Get this budget approved.
Wow. Let's do it.
Everybody got to raise their hand each year.
Let me see. Y'all hear that, general public?
No.
Everything's been cut. We're on razor thin ice and don't ask for no money. Anyway.
Well, Mr. Mayor, we have a lot of new businesses coming in. We have, thankfully, we have Yancey coming in.
Yes.
Potential, a lot of other buildings. I mean, a lot coming in. I can't say everything, but there's a lot that's going to come, and it's going to raise it up. So we're having the quarterly meetings to keep our budget in line. So we're
That's
going
right.
to work for it. Just like you sitting at the house right now. You're screaming about all the power bills and everything else. We're up here doing the same thing on a bigger side. And that's what we got to look at.
Okay.
Yep.
So if
Thank
you have
you.
anything else?
No, I'm just gonna leave you with, my little community impact report. And thank you very much for your time and attention.
Thank you for all that you're doing. Okay. Okay. Are there any speakers on specific agenda items? None on, okay, at this time, we're going to go into a recognition. Summer youth employees. Ah, there we go. I was looking for you, but you were hidden in this crowd.
All right, good morning, Mr. Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, and fellow commissioners. My name is Mary Darby. I'm the Director of Planning and Community Development, and I've had the opportunity this summer to work with Crisp County High School Work-Based Learning Program, and they've been inspirational in helping the city, in particular the Planning and Community Development Department, organize our filing and map room, and they've done an excellent job. We follow the Records and Retentions Act of the state. And to pull all this together, I just want to start. We have a short video we like to show you what it looked like before we got started and what it looks like now. But before I show the video, I want to say a special thanks to interim city manager David Way for promoting me to move this project forward. Thank you so much. And Maurice Hill for being on the advancement community manager, being on the interviewing panel, who helped me select these great students that I have. Brent Philman, our IT assistant manager, who helped with all of the digitizing and databases and everything we needed in that regards, and Brett Levender, our consultant, who helped me actually design what the room looks like and how much space I needed and what kind of equipment I needed to move forward. And last but not least, my administrative assistant, and our permit technician, Marcia Toussaint, who kind of helped me oversee the whole program, and they were phenomenal. At this time, I want to show you a little video.
Efficiency and progress are taking shape right here at Cordele City Hall. The City of Cordele Planning and Community Development Department recently teamed up with talented work-based learning students from Crisp County High School, where Susan Fuller is director of the program. Their mission: to completely transform our historic planning, map, and file room. From where we started to where we are now, the improvement is absolutely incredible. But this project went beyond just cleaning up. Thanks to this partnership, we have created and launched a brand new digital database. Now, decades of City of Cordele plans and files are easily identifiable, organized, and accessible at a moment's notice. Thank you to our exceptional local students: Anasia Taylor, 10th grade, Amari Walden, 11th grade, Brendan Young, 12th grade, for helping us build a more efficient, effective, and future-ready Cordele.
To acknowledge these students, I have asked Mr. Mayor to sign a letter of acknowledgement and thank you to our students, and if you don't mind, I'd like to read what he had to say. So, Anasia, Amori, and Brendan, on behalf of the City of Cordele, I would like to extend our sincere appreciation to you for partnering with the city's Planning and Community Development Department under the direction of Mary Darby, Director, and Marcia Toussaint, Permit Technician, to help organize our planning files and map room. Through your diligence, dedication, and attention to detail, you have helped clean up decades of planning files and maps that have become unorganized and unmaintained. Your efforts have made a lasting impact by improving the organization and accessibility of important city records that will benefit our staff and the community for years to come. In addition, your work in creating a comprehensive digital database of planning files, maps, and documents has provided the city with an invaluable resource that will serve current and future generations. The value of this digital archive is truly priceless and will greatly enhance the City of Cordele's ability to preserve its history while improving efficiency and access to critical planning information. We are especially grateful for the professionalism, positive attitude, and strong work ethic you have demonstrated while working at City Hall. You represented yourselves, your school, and our community with excellence, and your contributions are truly appreciated. Thank you for your outstanding service and commitment to helping make the City of Cordele a better place. We wish each of you continued success in your education and future endeavors. Sincerely, yours truly, J. Wesley Rainey, Mayor. Thank you. And at this time, each letter is signed for each student. So Miss Anasia Taylor. Mr. Brendan Young. And Mr. Amori Walden. And we have a special letter from Marsha Toussaint because she is phenomenal. And that will conclude my presentation.
Well, at this time, Miss Mary, the letters, I don't know if the letter speaks how daunting that room was, but that room was intimidating to everybody when anybody wanted to find anything. So the work that the work-based learning students has put in, thank y'all for tackling that project. All I can tell you is we just couldn't find the things that we needed, and now we can. And this is all part of carrying the city forward to get us more organized so we can move forward more orderly. And thank y'all for y'all's efforts. And we'd love for y'all to come back and help us at any time. Thank y'all.
Mr. Mayor, I do have one question. Mayor, I understand 2 of the 3 would still be eligible to
Yes.
continue working, have one that has a school's
Yes,
conflict.
yes.
Mr. Mayor, we have funds available in the community development budget to accommodate these. We have seen the momentum. We still have a ways to go. We're slated to end on July the 30th. School starts back July the 31st, and I would recommend that we continue with 2 of the 3 of our summer youth employees to continue the momentum to complete the project as their school schedule allows.
Okay.
And we're gonna keep up that program, I think, for sure. I mean, I don't think we're gonna discontinue it, but if they would have to apply through Susan, is that correct?
Yes, Susan
To-
Fuller,
to
yes.
Get the next semester?
That's right.
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
We actually-
please.
We actually hired them. They are actually city employees, city of Cordele employees. We hired them as part-time summer youth employees.
All right, great. Well, let's continue on,
All
especially
right.
the little bit of training that they've already got.
Yeah.
Continue on.
I just want to give them another round of applause. Thank you so much.
Need a
Thank
motion
you. And we're going to exit this way.
You would like to?
So continue on.
To continue on with it? Okay, city manager has asked for, or has recommended a motion to continue on with this program. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion approved to continue on with the work-based learning students. Okay. Okay, at this time, we also have a recognition for the Chris County 8U All-Star Girls Softball Team State Runner-Up.
All right. I got it. Given as much as I work for the county and am the program manager for the recreation department, and I was there when these girls went to state. And I might add that they are 3-time in a row district champs.
All right.
And then they'll go to state. And last year, and we'll just throw this out before I read this. Last year, we went up to state and we didn't do too well. But, you know, up North Georgia, when you go coach pitch, you want me to talk louder?
No, I want you to get them to stand up.
Oh, I'm going to, just say.
Okay.
I knew that was coming.
But talk louder too.
As we went to state, you know, we weren't quite prepared last year for the type of teams that we had to face. But this year, when we went up there, actually a bunch of these girls played together for about a whole year, and they were very well prepared. And I might add that the parents, every single one, did our community proud in the way that they behaved themselves and talked and did their due diligence and sportsmanship. I can't preach that enough. It's the way they acted and the kids acted. Cordele and Chris County should be very, very proud, I know I am, of the manner by which they presented themselves and represented our community. It goes above and beyond. Really, I've been doing sports for over 40 years, and it goes way above and beyond most anything I've ever seen. So, in that regard, I got a letter for y'all. Letter of recognition presented to the Crisp County 8U All-Star Girls Softball Team. Y'all stand up, please. On behalf of the mayor, the commission, and citizens in the city of Cordele, we proudly recognize and congratulate Crisp County 8U All-Star Girls Softball Team for your outstanding achievement as state runner-up. Your remarkable season is a testament to your hard work, determination, teamwork, and sportsmanship. Throughout the season, you represented Crisp County with pride, perseverance, and excellence, demonstrating the values that make our community proud. This accomplishment reflects not only the dedication of each player, but also the unwavering support and commitment of our coaches, parents, families, and volunteers who encouraged and inspired you every step of the way. Your success has brought honor to our community, serves as an inspiration to our other young athletes to pursue their goals with confidence, discipline, and integrity. Congratulations on an exceptional season and on earning the title of state runner-up. We recommend each of you for your outstanding. We commend each of you for your outstanding achievement. Wish you continued success both on and off the field. Presented this 21st day of July 2026, the Honorable Mayor Wesley Rainey, Commissioner Bernard Finn, myself, JoJo Wright, Mayor Pro Temp Vesterville Shepherd, and of course, Commissioner George Singletary. We thank y'all so much for the great job that you did and the sportsmanship that you showed this year. And we appreciate you coaches and your time and dedication. No one knows it more than I do what you go through, and we appreciate y'all. I gotta get this. You gotta get a picture. Oh, God. I could actually stand behind them because I'm taller than they are.
Morning, Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, how are y'all?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good to see you. I was asked to come provide a brief update, and I've got just a few slides that I think are pretty positive for the community. So, let's see if this works. Here we go. A couple of slides on numbers, and this chart shows the unemployment rate dating back to 2007 up to the present of both the county, the state, and the nation. And you can see all of them track somewhat similarly. If you look on that far left where it's really high, that was this community back in the Great Recession, back around 09, 010. And then everybody came on down back to, what is that, about 2019, 18, yeah. If you see that that one single spike right there in 2018, that is this county's unemployment rate jumped up to looks like about 8%. Do you have any idea what happened that month in 2018?
Something closed.
You would think so. He said something closed. That's actually when the Hurricane Michael came through. And the Department of Labor said that our unemployment rate jumped to 8% and back down the following month back to where it had been. I don't really believe that. I didn't think we had any real closings then, but you know, good luck with arguing to the State Department of Labor. And then you see that next spike back there in 2020, 2021, you see everybody jumped up. Well, that was COVID. Yeah, took a couple of years. And then everything dropped back down. And so for the last couple of years, this community has been under 4%, been in the threes now for about 24 months, tracking right along with the state. So good news on that front. And this second slide talks about our median household income, and that's the measurement of wealth in a community that most retailers use when they're deciding whether to come to a community or not. And so that's an important metric. And this is put out by the Federal Reserve of St. Louis, and the most recent numbers are the end of 2024, so there's no 2025 numbers yet. But if you look over that on that far right side, it shows the increase in our household median income for this county rising 51% over a 10-year period. And if you divide 51% by 10 years, you're talking about 5.1% per year. That's a nice rise. That's higher than inflation. So I think there was some true wealth creation over the last 10 years. So that's exactly what you want to see, is a rise in household median income. Now just a few slides about developments. This company came finished up about 2 years ago. Of course, I was working with them for about 2 years prior to that. But it's a great company out of California. They had no southeastern United States type manufacturing presence, and they're a rail user. This community is blessed with 3 railroads, and I am all about seeing your resources be used. So I'm a great proponent of rail for the benefit of this community, and you see rail cars there. And you go out there now, you'll typically see about 12 or 14 rail cars. But what they make is dry mix cement in 20-pound bags under the brand name Rapid Set, and their biggest customer is Home Depot. So if you go out to this Home Depot, you'll see in that concrete section Quickcrete, which is a competitor of theirs, and then right next to it you'll see Rapid Set. And it's a little more formulated, a little more expensive, but it will cure rapidly, just as the name implies. $30 million project, 140,000 square feet, and 35 employees. That manufacturing plant is very automated with robots, things like that. And so the raw material comes in by rail and is pumped up to the top of those silos, and then vertically comes down. And as it's coming down, it's blended into various recipes of various products. And then when it hits the bottom, it goes sideways on a packaging line out to the warehouse, which is on the far right, about 100,000 square feet. So great community to have, and they seem to be very happy out there. Most recently, Advanced Drainage Systems over behind West Fraser, I believe that's 15th Street. They have done an incredible job cleaning up that property. It was a terrible junkyard, and ADS is traded on the New York Stock Exchange, big company, another $30 million project, 109,000 square feet with 50 employees. And they're in the plastics business. So for years, they had a small operation there of about 10 or 12 employees where they had big machines that would chop up various plastic products, and then they chop them up finer, and they wind up putting them back into the manufacturing stream to help use recycled materials. So, you know, as far as the green type movement goes, this company is at the forefront of that. And they had a rail spur that had not been used in years and years, and so they changed that, and now they're using rail. So I'm always happy to see rail be used. And that also will be very automated. They're just now getting their new machinery broken in, working out all the bugs and things like that. And they'll continue to hire some more people to work in that plant. And then most recently, Yancey Engineered Solutions came into the Big Tex facility. And we were able to make that deal happen within about 6 months of when Big Tex closed. And that's a pretty rapid type development for a big project. Tickled to death about it. So that investment's going to be about $5.7 million. They're going to employ about 300 people within the first 2 years. And out of that 300, 200 will be welders. So then you look back to Big Tex, it was heavy on welders. So, and those folks come from a 45-mile, 60-mile radius. And this company is going to be paying about 25% more than Big Tex was. I think the welders are going to be starting at around $25 an hour, where Big Tex was around $20 an hour. And what they're going to make here are these things called generator enclosures. It almost looks like a single wide trailer that this community used to make years and years ago. And so these buildings go over the top of industrial generators to keep them out of the weather, keep noise down, various just environmental protections. And you can see how big they are on one of those lowboy flatbeds. They typically go down the highway with escort vehicles, you know, to try to keep them from running into bridges or other cars or whatever. But their business in this is grown quite a bit. They have a facility up in Griffin, Georgia, and then they bought a plant and created an operation out in Mississippi about 2 years ago. And even those facilities were not enough to keep up with their demand. And the demand is coming from data centers around the whole country because they all have backup generators. And so these enclosures go over those. So even though this is not a data center, we're benefiting quite a bit from the data centers around the whole country. And so it's a great project to have. On the retail front, you know, this community, I've been here about 11 years, and just in the last few years, we're starting to get some good national retailers. And that's not to fault Walmart or Home Depot. Happy to have them all this time. But good to have more national retailers out you see on the screen. It brings credibility to this community, and of course we serve a market all around us, smaller communities that come in every day. You'll see their cars in the parking lot from other communities here. And this shopping center had really been underutilized, almost vacant, except Cost Cutters was there on the far left. You see the before and after shot. But this shopping center had been owned by some people out of Pennsylvania, and they didn't seem to really care a whole lot about what happened to this shopping center. Maybe there was some tax write-off or whatever, I don't know. But they finally sold it to the Perlis family locally, and the Perlis family has done a fantastic job in bringing in these two new national retailers. Hobby Lobby is already open, and Marshall's, the lease was signed about a month ago. They plan to open probably in next spring. They like to open their facilities in certain times of the year. And so over the next, I guess 6 months, 9 months, there'll be a lot of internal construction going on within their side of the facility. But in the meantime, the Perlis's put a new blacktop in the parking lot, a new roof. You can see the difference in the coloration on the roof. Put some stacked stone to dress it up, and so really happy with how that has worked out. And then as a part of that same project, Cost Cutters moved from that other facility over here to the Southgate facility, again owned by the Perlises, but they also, the Perlises dressed this facility up with a new roof, new blacktop, and Cost Cutters is happier here than they were in the other facility. And good for this community and the people who live nearby that facility. Before it was just El Garrisol and BJ's, and now it's you got Cost Cutters there, and then on the far left, Destiny Fitness is going to take over the large space on the left. So overall, fantastic chain of events that all has worked well, and to see these shopping centers get dressed up and full with tenants is a good thing. And that's all I've got, but I wanted to give you an update. Thank you for your support. You are one of 3 partners in our Industrial Development Council. We have kept the same contribution rate from all 3 partners for about 10 years. I've been here 11 years, and that rate has been at $95,000 a year per partner. My predecessor had about 2 other full-time employees, and over the course of time, I've pared that down to myself and just one part-time young lady that works in the mornings. Technology helps us do more with less, and so we've been able to keep the contribution level at the same rate that it's been now for about 10 years, $95,000 a year. And Commissioners, that's all I've got.
I have a question. Last week I was coming down near El Garrisol. They were cleaning that building out also. Do you know what's coming there? On the right of El Garrisol.
I don't. I think I noticed that as well, but I don't know what that is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me ask you something. Do we have any, explain the shovel-ready sites for me? Can you explain that? to the
Shovel
public?
ready is a term that's used, various deals. The state has a certification, what do they call them? Grad sites. That process, I'm not a big fan of, because some of the judgment deals are somewhat discretionary with various personnels at the state. But what we've done ever since I've been here is do everything but go to that grad certification because of the other issues I have with it. So on the sites that we own, the Industrial Development Authority owns, we've done almost all of the pre-studies, the soil study, the phase 1 environmental, the wetland studies. There's more than that. I'm trying to remember. Topo studies. So it's a beautiful thing because we got those in pocket, in hand, and we use those with prospects. So that's how I handle that situation.
Are there any grants that are available to you that we can't see or to help with?
Yeah, the state has a program, but it helps fund the stuff that we've already done. All those studies you're talking about. If you go down that road, you have to commit to go down that other road, which I talked about, which is what did I just tell it? The grad site. And again, you get into that program, a lot of my counterparts around the state, some have done it and some don't. And the engineers they've hired to do it said, don't ever call us again to do this. It's really a pain and it's really not worth it. What counts is whether you've already done those studies, and we've got those studies ready to go.
How many sites do you have available?
Well, you got the ones that we own, but then you also have a lot of private sites, and probably a whole lot more private sites than we have. But
just an acreage approximately.
yeah, well, I like and I'm big on rail sites, and I'm big on protecting rail sites for rail users. Unless something is so big, you're willing to give it up. But on Pateville Road, with that whole park, Cedar Creek is full, except for one site we have, which is 120 acres, rail served, all the utilities provided by the state, right there in the road. Great site. And when I'm talking to developers, I'm telling them, look, when you have rail type projects, you need to be thinking about Cordele, Crisp County, because we've got 3 railroads, got some really good sites. There's a privately held site by the UIDC, which is a private nonprofit corporation. They have the large 270-acre site. It's rail served behind the old Chrysler dealership. And I've encouraged them to keep that because rail sites become more and more scarce as time goes on. And then the IDA has the 70-acre site behind Sam Crenshaw's melon shed, Old Nesbitt Road. It also is a rail site. And again, for all of those sites, we've done a lot of the due diligence. We know what the soils are. We got the environmental, wetlands, everything.
Out on Pateville Road where you're talking about out at Cedar Creek,
Yes, sir.
there's
I'm finished.
I thought you were. Excuse me, my bad. There's about 3 tracks that sit right there that are next to Hunt Brothers, and before you get to the concrete place, there's 550 acres in there, more or less, isn't there? I mean, there's
Now the
the
site that
120 acres you're talking about,
yeah,
and then there's, I think, Clary owns 170 acres or thereabout in there, and then I think, you said it was UDI?
UIDC, which is a United Industrial Development Corporation. It's basically a legacy of families. Actually, it was formed before there was ever an Industrial Development Authority. It was formed by citizens for economic development. It was formed in the 50s, and the IDA was formed in the 60s. So it's the predecessor, but it still remains, but the only property they have left is the 270 acres behind the old Chrysler dealership. And Mr. Clary owns some land. His is not really on Pateville. It is on 24th by the elementary school, and then he owns some out on 300. Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any industrial? Jump back in there.
Go ahead.
Do you have anything that you foresee? I know you can't disclose it, but the potential for any type of heavy commercial, something along the line of Yancey or industrial type that we could recruit to Cordele in mind that maybe you are looking at?
Well,
Possibly.
I mean, every day I'm here, my job is basically to recruit, and it takes time, it's a process. I'm in Atlanta a fair amount, and a lot of our budget is for developing the relationships with the state developers and people like that. So I've got other stuff that's under the radar screen that I obviously can't talk about, but it's all positive stuff. Some are just tire kickers in the very beginning stages, and some are fairly close.
What's your thought on getting another industry here, something that employ a long amount of people?
That's what I work for every day.
Yeah. I mean, do you see it coming? I mean, in the next few years or whatever to help grow, or national? I'm saying there's a lot of growth going on.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I see it coming. I can't predict when. Like we've got a big deal out there right now, and we're waiting to hear. And there's nothing else for us to do other than say yes or no or whatever. But I always look ahead to the future about our supply of land and potential other pieces of land to service for another 20, 30 years down the road. You know, this is a long-term process, but as I do that, obviously you have to have a willing seller. And so, you know, it takes two to tango when you're buying and selling land. It also takes money. Our development authority has some money now, primarily that's been funded by the county, and we're appreciative of that. That happened right before I came, when some citizens petitioned the county, and the county agreed to contribute, I believe it's $250,000 for the development authority, because it takes money to make money. You have to have a bank account to work with. And IDA didn't have a whole lot. And so now over 10, 11 years, it's grown. And of course, county, we've got one commissioner here. They've got their own budget issues, so everybody does, but we're grateful for that, very grateful, because that gives you the potential. If a seller came to me and said, Grant, I'm interested in selling my land. Well, okay, that's nice, but I have to know, well, where is it close to utilities? You know, is it close to an existing industrial park or not? There's all these different facets. Just like looking at a house, you know, if you're trying to buy a new house, you want to know what the amenities are, the utilities, whatever. So it's the same similar process. So I'm looking always down the road, a long way.
Okay, I just like to tell Mr. Mayor that Cordele is open for business. I mean, we want it, and we'll do what we can.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I'm saying as a commissioner of Ward 3. I want to see more growth, and I think keep headed on.
Thank you. It's been a great partnership between you guys and the Power Commission and the county, and I hope it continues. You know, I'll be retired or dead or whatever at some point, but it has worked well since the time that I've been here, and I hope it continues. But it takes a partnership. So, and I think for your $95,000 a year, it's probably you're doing all right. You know, getting your money's worth, and all this stuff that we've talked about, and other stuff that I can't talk about is just a really good deal.
Can we get you to donate a little bit back?
I didn't hear you, sir.
Could you donate a little bit? I'll get louder.
Okay, thank you.
Well, I got a few things, Grant.
Yes.
All right, so first of all, I'd like to tell you thank you for working and coming. I think it's I'm glad you have come to give this presentation to this board. It's been a long time coming, but it's a lot of good information the public needs to hear. And I would appreciate it if you could come back at least twice a year to the board to give this update so the citizens would know.
Yep.
I know it takes time to change everything, but you have disclosed and showed the public all the commercial growth that is coming to the city of Cordele. And with ADS, with Yancey Brothers, with all of this new, with Marshall's, Hobby Lobby, Seven Brick, all of this is sales tax, or the majority of this is some sales tax generation. Plus, is taxable property that's located inside the city limits, which generates city and county revenue. And it takes a lot of houses being built in the county to overcome what has just located to the city limits of Cordele with all this growth. You're looking at 100 million plus?
Yes, yeah, you had two $30 million projects and then Yancey. So.
Okay, so there's $100 million worth of growth that is located in the city limits that pays city and county taxes, which means the county benefits from this growth as well, but a lot of it's inside the city limits. This sales tax, we're gonna have to muscle through 2026. 2026 is gonna be just a year we have to muscle through. Now, in November, the public will be able to vote on a 1% sales tax called a floss. All these retailers are gonna generate, if it passes, 1% sales tax that will go towards property tax relief. That full benefit will be starting to be felt, well, not the full, a partial benefit will be felt in 27 if it passes, a full benefit in 28. But all this is geared, and all of this is benefiting all of us as a whole from property tax. So this growth that we're experiencing is what has been much needed. The city, the county, the Power Commission have all suffered from stagnated growth that you have shown. These retailers have not been here, so that's why people's property taxes have gone up, because we still have to run governments. We have to run the city, we have to run the county, and property taxes is one of the things that has suffered from lack of growth. This positive growth that we're feeling is going to be some much needed relief for all of us in the future. We just need time to get everything implemented and working and moving in the right direction. So there is one stat on there that I'm going to ask that if you would break down. When you did the median household income, that's for the county. Do you have that graph for the city?
I'll have to check with the Federal Reserve in St. Louis. It may be just, I mean, inclusive of the city within the county, the whole county.
I know you work as a county, but I would like to see that number specific to the county, to the city, because that
Sure.
is the number that we are battling as far as growth and qualifying for grocery stores, qualifying for restaurants and everything. I do not believe there is 51% growth of median household income inside the city limits. So I just don't see that stat here. I am very curious to see what the stat is within the city limits on that growth. I don't want to put that projection out there that the city is following that same 51% median household increase.
I have a feeling that's blended into it, you know, so it's all 22,000 people in the whole county.
Right.
But I'll just have to see if that city specific is available.
Yeah, 'cause we really need to see that city specific to help us all with what we're trying to accomplish.
I concur with the mayor that there's really no way that figure is I know that figure, if it came to just the city, would be considerably less. So it's a combination, like I said, of the city and the county. Because as he said, to get things here that they want, for instance, i.e. Publix, if I hear that one more time, there are a number of different places, Longhorns, this, that, and that. Those places are not coming into the city, okay, because our city median income is sitting here, okay? They know what it is, and they look at that. And so we've got to get that city median income up some. Of course, we have a ton of county islands inside the city.
Right.
That would help elevate that. But, you know, everybody wants what they want, and we appreciate that. Thank you for what you come in to do, Grant, but I'm just saying, we got to get that level of the city's income up, and where it can be shown so that Publix or whoever sees it and says, hey, well, we could come there.
Well, they're going to be looking at these numbers, and, you know, they're drawing from the city, the county, and Wilcox County all around.
Right.
It's everybody.
Right.
So, but if it's available, I'll sure share it with you.
Okay. thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
I don't know what to do about this.
Okay, we have one more presentation. That's going to be from Miss Linda Smith, Entertainment and Tourism.
Good morning. Thank you for having me, Honorable Mayor and Commissioners. I need a little tech help here to get me. What do we do? Sorry. You pull it up, I'll figure this out hopefully.
Is it the Reels Reel, right?
That's it.
Awesome.
I got up early this morning to come and be with you, and it's just a pleasure to be here. I drove down from Johns Creek, just north of Atlanta, but I am a native of Southeast Georgia, so I've been through Cordele many times in my life, and had the honor of being toured by Maurice Hill a couple of months ago through the city, and just blown away by all of the assets that you have here. We were just talking about economic development, and I'll tell you a little bit about who I am and why I did what I did, but tourism is the purest form of economic development. I started my career in tourism a long time ago. I won't date myself, but thought I had left it, and lo and behold, moved to what is now Johns Creek, formerly part of Alpharetta, and the Johns Creek city was new and had a new CDB, and I wound up chairing that board for 8 years. So I sort of got dropped back into it as a board member, as a chair, and started following the entertainment industry. So ultimately, I founded the Entertainment Tourism Alliance of Georgia. And the reason for that, I operate solely as a volunteer. The reason for that is because I started following this phenomenon with film that started many years ago in 2008. And as many of you know, Georgia had one of the largest tax incentives in the state. A lot of things have happened over the years to make this more of a global competition now. So it's a lot harder than it was in the beginning. Plus, a lot of our neighbors and other states, came up to compete with us in terms of putting together even bigger packages and attracting a lot of the film industry. But as I went around the state the last few years and just listened to the reports coming out of the state of Georgia, I realized there were some big gaps in the numbers, and everyone was so excited and so focused on what I call the front end of production and even music and gaming, and who's coming to my town next and how do I get them here. And I kept saying, but what about what happens after they leave? So I started Entertainment Tourism Alliance of Georgia because there was a huge gap. And while tourism, Georgia is number 5 in destination tourism, we want to move that up. I spoke at the Capitol a few months ago, and we talked about getting from number 5 to number 4, and obviously we want to move up and one day maybe even compete with the Mouse. I don't know if we can get that high, but we'll try. But I think the differentiator is the entertainment tourism. And many of your neighbors who are the size of Cordele and even smaller are profiting big time, because they have taken advantage of all of that film and music history, and they've turned it into immersive assets to attract global destination visitors. And those visitors spend even more money than the average tourist. So you've probably heard Covington, you've probably heard Sonoya, you've probably heard now Jackson is on, and I work very closely with all of them. So I had the opportunity to meet Maurice at a recent conference in Atlanta, and he heard me speak and asked me would I come and look at Cordele, and so I did. And I was very pleased at everything that I see here. I think you guys are well positioned already with the assets you have to bundle and really start to have a marketable asset to attract these entertainment fans that follow film and music specifically, and gaming is right on the heels of both. So one of the things that he showed me first was this building, which I was fascinated by. He said, well, it's huge and it's it's kind of sitting in the middle of the city and it's blight. So one of the things that I talk about is reimagining blight. It costs so much money to redevelop, tear down, build. It's a lot of time, it's a lot of money. What do you do in the interim when you have buildings, and almost every town in Georgia and across the country has this situation, is you reimagine it. And so for a very small budget, you turn it into a piece of art or something that adds visual value to your community. You make it basically a backdrop. So if you think about movie sets and they're just facades, and coming in and bringing your local artists together and bringing tech students together and thinking about what could that be and what could that look like while we're waiting to decide what we do with that property. So that was one of the first buildings, and I was just blown away with it. You can let it sit there and it doesn't add value, or you can turn it into a valuable asset and have it actually serve you and become a marketable attraction for your town. And a lot of your neighbors are doing this. So we'll talk more about that in just a minute. Cordele already has a lot of assets to be an entertainment tourism destination. And I want to continue to call out that entertainment tourism is a segment of the broader tourism umbrella. So it's not to be grouped in with just general tourism. It is a specific type of destination visitor who wants to come and touch, see, and feel where films were shot, where their favorite actors shot movies, what they touched, where they stayed, everything about it. They're fascinated. Same thing with music. So you all have a very interesting combination because you've been the site of several movies. Bruce Willis, who I'm going to talk more about in a minute, when he was shooting Assassins, no one knew that would be his last movie, but it was shot, part of it right here in Cordele. He has millions of fans around the world. He'll never shoot another movie. So you all wrapped up his career, and there's not a single Bruce Willis tribute in the state of Georgia. So there's this huge opportunity to take what you're already a part of and build out something around it and then market that. So you have an opportunity to be the first to create a Bruce Willis tribute, and how he wrapped up his career right here in Cordele, Georgia. You also have T. Graham Brown, which grew up here. He touched Cordele. He's a part of Cordele. And how do you connect that into the Georgia train songs and all the country songs written about trains that you're already so well known for? Your rail history not only serves you currently with your industrial park, but it also is a part of attracting fans who love trains, and trains are fascinating to millions of people around the world. So all of these assets combined, as I was driving through and Maurice was showing me, I was getting very, very excited. So these are just two of the movies that, of course, you guys are directly attached to. It just happens that both of them have an existing fan base. The zombie fan base is also hundreds of millions of fans around the world. And I don't know that Cordele is getting their fair share of those visitors. And so your iconic rocket, which was a part of, Zombies in 2024, this is not only a landmark for you, but it is something that fans of Zombies want to come and see, but they have to know about it. A lot of your neighbors are already holding big conventions to attract a lot of these fans, and they're very close proximity to you. So just having the marketing materials and bundling all this together is, pretty easy to do and not a heavy lift. And then, of course, as we just talked about, having Assassins filmed here in Cordele and wrapping up a legend in the movie industry, his career here, just provides a tremendous opportunity. The Georgia Rails, I just did a little research to see how many train songs have been written about Georgia, and these just popped up. So I'm sure there are probably a dozen more, but tying in the history of rail and Cordele with Georgia, some of Georgia's most famous songs about trains, and then connecting that to T. Graham Brown is just another opportunity to bundle all of that together. So there's a way to actually have T. Graham Brown be sort of the ambassador. I don't know if you all stay in touch with him, or even if you don't, his legacy as being a part of Cordele is here. I mean, that's just a fact. So there's no reason why you can't play off of that. And then seeing the train museum and actually the platform and all of the way that you all have already created such a beautiful visual downtown for guests to come and actually observe the trains and the rail yard and have the trains move. The fact that you have a place for photo ops with the mini train outside, and then you have all of that history captured in the museum, you're already set up. It's just a question of how do you elevate it to connect to that entertainment tourism audience, so that they know that you're here and they see beyond what is already here. There's something there's immersive that they can come and actually experience in Cordele that's associated with one of their favorite musicians or films or actors. So I took a little bit of time to create just some step-by-steps. Maurice challenged me to say, what could we do in Cordele that would create additional economic development opportunities and create a constant flow of funding into Cordele? I will tell you, in Covington, Georgia right now, their economic impact from what they've done around their movies is $134 million per year. That's a lot of money. And it's just pure tourism. And so I don't know if you've had the opportunity to go and be on the square there, but I've been over many, many times, and every time I park on the square and get out, there are visitors from all over the world walking on the square. The Mystic Grill, which of course is a private partnership, private business, but they very much now, and I'll talk a little bit about that too, they very much now are in a relationship with the city. That hasn't always been the case. One of the things I love about being able to come here and present first, and I told Maurice this, is most of the times these cities, Sonoya, Jackson, Covington, start with private business kicking it off first. And many times the city and the county do not support. So that has been the story from all of the private businesses that I've worked with. But to have it in reverse, where the city actually says, this is something we want to do, now we want to incentivize new businesses coming to Cordele, new restaurant coming downtown, new coffee shop coming downtown. How do you incorporate these ideals so that we attract a broader number of destination visitors and not just the normal, day to day, so that they want to come and actually stay in Cordele and be part of something that's more immersive. And there's an endless array of things that can be done. These are just a few that I pulled. Creating the facade film sets we talked about. There's an entire independent film industry in Georgia that fall below that $500,000 threshold that actually qualifies for the state incentive. The state does not track those at all. They only track the $500,000 and above. We have a huge Christian film industry in Georgia that films independent films. When you start to create some of these facades that we're talking about, taking some of the blight and turning them into, almost like a movie set, the independent film industry is always looking for budget savings, but they spend money too. So they don't spend the big budget that you do when you get a larger multi-million-dollar film, but they do spend money. So having them actually be able to come and utilize some of those spaces for independent filmmaking is another opportunity for marketing and bringing that industry into your community as well. You have beautiful murals already, but there's so much more that you can do with artwork using your local artists and actually bringing your tech students. So this is something that Jackson is doing right now. Jackson just had 100,000 people on their square. They're a population of 5,000. In December, there was over 100,000 people just in that 1 month, solely because of Stranger Things. So it took a little while for the city, the mayor and I have had many conversations, to really open their eyes to the full potential, but now they are working in unison with the private businesses and really expanding like crazy. There's a lot of expansion going on there. So it's very exciting to watch a town that size and see what they've been able to do. But part of the reason they've been able to do this is they brought in the technical students from the tech school and actually had them be a participant with the artists to recreate movie sets in their alleys, their back alleys, which are, again, sort of leaning on the side of blight. They've taken those alleys and turned them into film sets, the actual film sets again. And the students have been able to help do that, and it actually gives them an opportunity to build their resume. So it's been a great partnership with the schools. It's a very low-cost way of bringing these assets to life and utilizing your local talent without having to spend a lot of money. So it's a win-win. There's all kinds of tours, and there's all kinds of Hall of Fames and things like that you can do that are very low cost. And then ultimately, we'd love to, I know you're a land trust city, there's an opportunity to, take a strategic look at all of the blighted parcels in the city and actually look at what those could be in the interim. So again, I'm preaching to the choir here, but these are just a few of the photos that I captured as I toured around with Maurice, and I was so impressed. These are the things that visitors love, and packaging them together with the entertainment history that you have would elevate you up to a level where you could start to even pull from some of your neighbors as people are touring through Georgia. One of the things Entertainment Tourism Alliance of Georgia is working on right now is a One Georgia app. Matter of fact, the RFP went out this weekend. Very exciting. That would solely be focused on entertainment. So a destination visitor could plug in, Bruce Willis, and every single film Bruce Willis has ever done in the state of Georgia would pop up. They could create their own custom tours and actually have a family, 7-day visit through Georgia and touch every place that their favorite artist has been. So there's just a lot of possibilities. This is just scratching the surface. Georgia's train legacy. One of the things that I talked to Maurice about when we went to the railway park is all of the movies related to trains and how people love trains already, but then there's another audience that loves the movies about trains. So just being able to, take the beautiful park that you guys have already built, created, and tie in all these other assets to it, again, it just broadens the attractiveness and brings even more visitors to your town. So this was just a really quick, throw some numbers on there, just some ideas of, taking a facade of a building like the one you have with the historic hotel here in Cordele. For very little investment, you can actually bring these assets to life and change their presence and their positioning in the city. So I'll leave this behind. You guys can look at it later, but these are just some ideas. The murals, the quick story stops, even putting up actual markers at every film location where, Zombies was filmed, where, and I know you guys have a placard with the rocket, but where Bruce Willis stood. People want to know, like, okay, Bruce Willis stood right here when he shot Assassins. And, I want to stand there and get a photo. Putting something from that movie in those locations, I mean, just having the markers for people to do walking tours or some kind of self-guided tour is enough to really get people excited and something to market as well. I also was able to drive by the restaurant and coffee shop, Rail House Tavern, and immediately when I saw it, Maurice was showing me, I thought of Mystic Grill in in Covington, sorry. Mystic Grill in the Vampire Diaries, which has a huge fan base around the world, was never an actual restaurant. It was just the facade that was in the actual show. A private business took a risk, she took a big risk, of turning that into a real restaurant. Their return has been immeasurable because, first of all, it was the first landmark from the actual series that people could go and visit. Now, I think she started it in 2014. Today, if you walk in that restaurant, it doesn't matter if it's Sunday or Monday or Tuesday, whatever. There are international guests eating there, lunch and dinner every day, 7 days a week. They also do 3 tours a day now, 7 days a week, of up to 60 people at a time. So Covington, I use them a lot because they're a population of 15,000. I feel like being from rural Georgia and being very close to rural Georgia, not always does rural Georgia get their share of what comes to Atlanta, and that's always been an issue. Same thing with film. Obviously, with the unions, they push film production to stay as close to the city as possible, and there's a line drawn around how far they really want to go out. Savannah has a similar, opportunity to attract them. But for the city, for the rural areas that have been able to attract these films, to be able to turn that opportunity, that one-time opportunity, or maybe it's multiple times, into an asset that continues to give back to the community for decades to come, is incredible. And that's what Covington has done, and that's what Jackson is in the process of doing. Sonoya has already done it as well and rebuilt their downtown. But I see a lot of opportunity here for these types of businesses to have basically a theme. It doesn't change the type of business, just having a theme to it that not only benefits the local community, but attracts that international and destination guest. So this is just, this is just an idea to throw into place. You could phase in a project like this and bring your art community together, bring your tech students together, bring some local leaders together, and actually get a vision of what do you want, where do you want to start, what geographic area is most important to the city from a visibility perspective, and then phasing in over as much time as you like. But what I really wanted to show is it doesn't take very long to bring some of these concepts to life. It's just an issue of, knowing what you want to do, getting the right people together, and then having a plan. But some of them are very low lift and very little cost at all to get going. So I just wanted to end by saying, there are a lot more towns in Georgia that are taking full advantage of their film, music, and if they're fortunate to have gaming in their community history, and they're turning it into economic development. And it's the economic development that just continues to give, because if you know tourism, people come and they leave. They do not pull from your infrastructure. They just leave money and they go. And we know that these tourists spend a larger percentage of money than the average tourist. So I wanted to come present this opportunity. I was blown away when I visited Cordele, and I think you have an amazing opportunity ahead of you and an ideal environment to build out entertainment tourism. So I appreciate you allowing me the time to just come and kind of ideate and throw some things at you, and love to take any questions or comments that you might have.
Okay, commissioners, y'all have any questions?
All right, awesome.
Well,
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it very much.
thank you. This is an untapped resource.
Yes.
Wallace and I have talked about this over some time. I just think we need to capitalize on some, follow through on some other things and get to this as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
And have a plan. Come
Absolutely.
up with a executable plan.
Yeah, and I would just encourage you, you know, it's rare that it starts seated from the leadership at the city level, but that's the ideal. You're in an ideal position to build the support from the beginning. Almost every town I've mentioned, it started in reverse. Now the city and county get on board eventually, but it's kind of like they have to wait and see, which makes it really difficult on the private business that's making the investment. So you guys are in an ideal position to be able to sort of decide on a starting point and, you know, phase it in and just build it as you go, but also start to build those incentives for the private businesses that are coming in as well. It's a win-win.
Thank you
Thank
for your
you.
time.
Mayor, I got a
Yeah.
question for you. Is not this tourism, shouldn't it be with the chamber and get them involved since we're paying that 1%? Just asking, just something to mull over.
Well, we control it.
Yes.
And the one, okay, what Commissioner Singletary is referring to is the city has a 6% tourism tax. And the chamber gets a portion of the budget to promote tourism. The city holds a percentage of it, and then there's 1% designated for a tourism related project. We cannot use those tourism funds to run city government, and we can't, that money has to be used to draw people from out of town. So there is funding for this type of thing that could help us. That 1% is currently designated for downtown. The commission controls that 1% project. So, but the chamber is our partner from the aspect of they run the tourism related events, and they hold the right around 2.5% of the 5% that is designed to bring tourism to here, such as Sam Shoreline, Thomas the Train, your sailplanes, and watermelon festivals, and other events are all funded through the chamber. Did that answer it?
Pretty much.
Pretty much.
I just want to make sure.
Control it.
We control it, but we have committees that are for that DDA. She runs basically the downtown, does that, then the chamber does a lot of tourism. I'm just thinking this particular project would be astronomical going with the chamber and get that extra funding through the chamber.
Mhm.
That's all I'm thinking. I mean, we can move on. I'm good. I just want to
Okay.
just let the public know.
All right, yep, no problem. We'll move on to agenda items. Agenda item number 1, consider and approve a new appointment to the Downtown Development Authority. This is going to be a 4-year term. The recommendation is for Nick Rachels. This is replacing Lynn Barnes, who's no longer able to serve as he does not work for the empowerment zone anymore at this time.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, motion and a second to go with the recommendation of Nick Rachels for a 4-year term appointment to the Downtown Development Authority. All in favor? Aye. Okay, motion approved. Okay, this is agenda item number 2, consider and approve an event permit. This is round robin 2-wheel Sunday. Organization is the Black Dusters Motorcycle Club, 606 South 10th Street. Organizer's name is Deidre Davis. The date of the event is August the 2nd from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. There is a special request to close off 10th Street between 16th and 17th Avenue. This was approved by Captain Chuck File on July the 14th.
So moved.
So moved.
Okay, motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion approved. Agenda item number 3, consider and approve the second reading of an ordinance authorizing expenditures past the end of the fiscal year ending June the 30th, repealing all ordinance in conflict herewithin and for other purposes.
I got a question on that one. There's not the, section 627B, provides that the budget's not passed, it automatically goes into,
No, I think you have to.
you have to? Okay, all right.
Well,
This is continuing to operate on the previous year's budget until a new budget is approved, so we're past the June 30th, and that's what this is
That's
for.
what this
Okay.
continuing resolution. Not for any questions, but
Okay.
It's a resolution, no ordinance. Okay.
Okay, so we have a motion. Is there a
Yes.
second?
Second.
Okay, motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion approved. All right, agenda item number 4, this is consider and approve the second reading of an ordinance of the city of Cordele repealing section 1010 of the zone code entitled Board of Zoning Appeals, providing that the mayor and city council shall have the power to hear and consider zoning appeals. This is repealing all ordinances here in conflict wherein and for other purposes.
So move.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Motion approved. Board of that, this is going to dissolve the Board of Zoning Appeals. Okay.
I didn't vote.
Oh.
He didn't give me an opportunity to say nay.
And is there nay?
Nay.
Okay, we got 1 nay and 3
Yeah.
yays. Okay. Okay, city manager's report.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I'll run through this rather quickly since we've been here now for 2 hours. This is the interim city manager's report for July 21st, 2026. As always, we begin with keeping Naisha Pickens in the forefront. She has been, her anniversary of her disappearance has passed, and we're still looking for Ms. Pickens. So anyone that has any information, we encourage you to use the Send app. Use keyword Naisha or Cordele Missing Person. Contact the tip line at 1-800-597-8477 or contact the Cordele Police Department or any of our surrounding law enforcement agencies. Every week or every meeting, we continue to highlight our Pet of the Week. This Pet of the Week is Ashley, and if anyone is looking for a new member of their family, we highly encourage you to look at the Cordele Animal Shelter first before you visit a pet store or a breeder. We are flush with animals out there, and they all need a good home. So you're welcome to visit the animal shelter in sight, or you can go to the Cordele website at www.cordelega.gov, or you can contact the animal shelter at 229-947-5306 to see the animals that are available. Youth Bill still accepting applications. This awesome opportunity for someone to earn a GED along with a valuable trade and to learn to develop their leadership skills. So anyone interested, you're encouraged to visit Empowerment Pathways Youth Field or contact Marissa Wedges. She is the program director at 229-276-1580. The community of Cordele continue to have their Sunday arcade. This is open every day every Sunday from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. Everything is free. There are no coin slots on the game, so you're welcome to come out, play video games, board games, just interact with other people. Some positive time for our children here. in the community. So again, that is the community of Cordele, located at 205 East 13th Avenue. If you have any questions, you can contact them at 229-401-8122. While we're speaking of the community of Cordele, there will be a ribbon cutting there. Make note of the date. This was originally announced to be July the 23rd. They have pushed the date out one day to July the 24th. So that's at 10 a.m. at the community of Cordele, again located at 205 East 13th Avenue here in Cordele. The Back to School Bash will be Saturday, August the 1st at the Crisp County Recreation Department. It will begin at 11 a.m. until 2 p.m. or until all items are distributed. We do have backpack giveaways, free food, bouncy houses and games for the kids, along with some haircuts and braids for our boys and girls. So if you have not made a contribution, they're still accepting donations to help fund this program. You can contact Monica Robinson at 1205 North 5th Street Extension here in Cordele. All right, this is the Grade 8 Sheriff's Roundup.
Yes, sir.
So I'm going to defer to Mayor Pro Tem Shepherd to tell us a little bit about this.
Okay. Wanted for a good cause, the Grade 8 Sheriff's Roundup, a charity fundraising event. Unity Community Action Council, Montezuma, Georgia, where Cordele and 8 other counties are in this area. Our sheriff, the Honorable Billy Hancock, will be arrested on August the 14th. Our jail will be at the city Main Street building, and we're going to arrest Sheriff Hancock, Chris County, Sheriff of Dooley County, Sheriff of Sumter County, Sheriff of Macon County, Marion County, Taylor County, Sly County, and Webster County. This is a fundraiser charity event for the citizens in this county. A lot of times we have people who need their lights bill paid, or we pay the water bill, food, help with rental assistance. The government don't give us so much money, we always run out. And they require that we have fundraising event. And this year they put it in my hand. So in order to incorporate everybody in this fundraiser, we incorporate the whole 8 counties. And that way we can, every year I plan to move from one county to the other so one county will hold this responsibility. I was honored to make this presentation at the Georgia's Association last week in Savannah. I did the whole 9 yards and everybody's so enthralled that we got this project going on. So I'm going to ask the citizens of Cordele, Dooley County, Macon County, Marion County, Taylor County, Webster County, Sly County, to please support your sheriff and help get them out of jail. We will be serving them lunch. I plan to make a pledge
Bread and water?
Huh?
Bread and water?
Bread, we have bread. Well, one sheriff said make sure we have some good food, not jail food. We have someone who volunteered to donate a sit-down meal for them. So if you want to take a picture with your sheriff in jail, or we bought a uniform for them, they're going to be in prison uniform. I've even got a surprise for Sheriff Hancock. So I want you all to support our sheriff. This is to help citizens in my county, other surrounding counties, and it's a worthwhile cause. I would like to thank Rick for helping me with this project. David, I got people on everywhere to pull it in to help. So I'm going to pledge out of my discretionary fund, if I may, to the body, $1,000 to keep Sheriff Hancock in jail. I want to keep him there as long as possible so we can raise funds, because this is put in my hands, so I want to make sure that we look good. We'll take, if you got your change up, bring it, I'll take it. You can take your money to the sheriff department here in Crisp County, or you can pay it down at the Main Street building on the 14th. We also got a web page. You can scan it in if you want to make a pledge or promise, whatever. Call. You can call me. I want to sit and talk to the city. If they want to come by here and drop the funds off, just give them a receipt because it's tax deductible. Okay? The more we raise, the more people we can help. I see one of our volunteers here, she's been volunteering with West Central Georgia, now Unity Community for years. Miss Grant. We have a lot going on in our community. So in order to fulfill the need of our community and our citizens, I challenge each of you to pledge. I've already received a pledge of $1,000 from Dooley County for their share to keep him in. It's going to be such a fun event, and then we can help others. So if you need any question, call me, 229-699-0515 or 229-947-5325.
Thank you. That's hard act to follow there. Backyard Battle Wiffle Ball Tournament will be going on August 15th at 9 a.m. $100 for a 5-man team. This will be benefiting the Gateway Center here in Cordele. That's a child advocacy center. There is a QR code up there to register. I do not have more information right now as far as registration or who you can contact. Rick, do you have any information on it? But as soon as we get that, we will certainly send it out. This is a very worthwhile event as well.
Do we have any wiffle ball players in Chris
I
Connect?
got a question on that wiffle ball.
Yes, sir.
I forgot my question. Well, no, I do have a question. Do we still have our discretionary fund? It's carrying over because we going into a new year without a budget yet.
You have
What we
part
had.
of last year's, what you inherited, in other
Right,
words, from last
right.
year. And
Okay.
then with the new budget, yes, sir, you will have.
All right. I was at the very first wiffle ball tournament that we had here. I might add that one of my sons was on the winning team, and the other one, I think, coming second. Yeah. One home run there. So we've always been around that backyard wiffle ball battle. I'd like to pledge $500 to that, and I don't care how you do it, but if that puts 5 teams in, that's fine, whatever.
Okay.
But this is a really fun and worthwhile cause right here. It raises money and for the Gateway Center, which is naturally a very good cause. And I'll be out there anyway, so I ain't gonna be playing. Well, I might play. I don't know.
So she said this is for the Gateway Center and the
Gateway
Child
Center.
Advocacy Center?
Yes, ma'am.
I too would pledge 500 if I still have that much.
Go ahead, check and see what you've got. Yes, ma'am.
So yeah, 1,000 me for the fundraiser for this district and 500 for the Gateway Center event.
Jamaica, did you get
Can I
that?
go to charge for those gentlemen?
Yeah, I do 500 with the sheriff.
Okay.
The thing I do 500 with Cordele.
Thank you, sir. All right. Sir, on the end? Yeah, you.
I'm broke.
Come
Yeah, I
on.
am.
He's not broke yet. Can't be.
Not broke.
What about you, Mr. Metz?
I'll do 500 for each as well.
Thank you. You're gonna need me one day.
I'm broke. Seriously.
All right, moving on. Notice of utility fee changes. This came into effect July the 1st. As you all know, we do have a late payment penalty, a 10% penalty with a $5 minimum. If payment is not received within 5 days after the due date. Disconnection fee, if the balance included the 10% penalty is not paid within 20 days after the due date, the service will be disconnected and an additional $25 fee will be charged. And then a $25 reconnection fee will also be charged to have services restored. After hours reconnections, anything after 6 p.m. will result in a charge of $60 per hour for every hour necessary to make the reconnection. And customers may receive one extension per calendar year prior to disconnection for additional fee of $25.
Can I ask a question about that?
Yes, sir.
The extension.
Yes, sir.
I'm curious why we wouldn't offer more extensions.
That's actually in my action report coming up, but I'm gonna request we remove that one time. If someone needs an extension and willing to pay for it, we should.
If they're willing to pay for an extension, that's more money. So the extension part, I mean, I have no problem giving them every other month or something like that.
PRN as needed.
As needed, because that's $25 if they're willing to pay the extension fee.
Right.
Well, it's 25 for the disconnect, 25 for the reconnect, so that's $50. And I do notice a bunch of people that I've heard over the last few weeks go, man, I gotta go pay my water bill. I ain't never heard them say that before in my life, but all of a sudden they run and go pay it, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
Get them in here so you don't have to be charged that fee. That's the whole thing, cut it back, you know.
If you'll note the overhead, the second item there, I'm
get
actually
one
requesting to amend that fee schedule to abolish the one-time limitation and request that the extensions not be limited and retain the $25 per extension fee.
I still move on that. Let it just be as needed. I mean, there's no sense setting a limit on it. I mean, some people get in the bind and they can't, they need the help, so.
I second.
Okay, motion and a second, so we'll go ahead and address that item. Your motion is to remove it in its entirety. And
Yeah.
offer extent as many extensions
needed.
as
Yeah,
they needed.
as needed,
As needed.
as needed, you know, every month, if they need to. I mean, just keep the water on, basically is what I'm saying.
And they just pay the,
Pay the fees. I mean, you have to pay the fees. There's no way to get out of the fees.
We started down this process on these fees right here for the purposes of that $200,000 a year that we were losing, okay? And we've got to recoup that because we don't have the money to not recoup it. But at the same time, we made it a point that we wasn't gonna affect Miss Jones, Miss Smith, or whoever that couldn't afford it and that was on fixed income. We're not trying to damage them. So at the same time, we've got to be, you gotta have a little bit of, love, out there for the general public. So I'm just saying, the extension should be whatever is, as you see necessary. Now, you can't extend 1 month to the next month to the next month, but skip a month, whatever, because, I mean, you could, I guess if you did it like that legally, you could just keep extending it to the end of time.
You want to pay it.
But
still
you have to
gotta
pay
the
another
water bill.
$25, yeah.
Yeah, you gotta pay that water bill before the next extension.
The extensions have agreements with them.
Explain that, Mr. Mayor, could we get Ms. Sonia to explain that to us?
If they do an extension, they need to pay that out before they can do another one. They can't get an extension if they already have an extension.
Right.
That's gonna run us into some problems.
Right.
So I would prefer there be a limit on how many they can get a year, but if we just state that they cannot get an extension if they're currently under.
Either that or 3 extensions, one of the two. Personally, I'd just say 3 for the whole year. I mean.
I'd say just continue with that policy that they already have in place. If they extend it 1 month, they can't do it the next month, but they can do it, if they pay everything up, they catch up, they can do it the following month.
Okay. So really, that's six a year.
That's 6 a year, yep.
What it amounts to, yeah.
Why don't we put a number on it, 6 a year? Because some people will take advantage if you don't have a good guy.
No.
So
No.
let's put a number on it.
okay, so there was a motion, that's what I was clarifying.
Okay.
We got a motion and a second that has to go through because you've already made a motion and a second for unlimited extensions.
And we say
And the second
unlimited,
was
but it's
up.
going to be limited because of the rule that we have in place. It
Yeah.
can only go from one, you can't go past 1 month. So it's going to be five or six, no matter what, in the course of a calendar year.
Yeah, so it can stand.
Yeah, it can stand like it
It's
is.
my opinion, you don't offer an extension until the prior
Right.
account is paid in full.
There you
And
go.
at that point, they're eligible for the extension. That way you don't have to worry about keeping up with who has
Right.
6 extensions per year, or 5
Right.
extensions. You're
That's
not,
easy
you're not
to say.
eligible for an extension until your account is paid in full.
That's right.
So that's under the current policy.
That's my recommendation.
That's your recommendation.
Right now, our current policy is 1 extension per year for $25.
Yeah, we need more than that.
We're kind of hamstringing ourselves there. We
Yeah, I think
we lift the limit, charge $25 per extension, and once you pay the bill off, you're eligible for another extension if you need it. And, hopefully, you'll never need it, but
Okay, in order to clean this up, I'm not gonna entertain that motion. Does somebody want to make a new motion pertaining to this?
Okay, I will make a motion
So we have this clarified.
that we go with the current policy in place on the recommendation of the city manager of removing the 1 extension per year, I guess it is, per year, and go with the city manager's recommendation as needed and within policy of the city.
I second.
That good enough? Before
Yeah.
you second,
I done seconded you now, buddy.
Oh, you done second me?
Yeah, I done seconded.
Does that clarify?
probably not really.
Probably not really.
What do you need? What do you need?
My-
I withdraw my
All
motion.
right, my recommendation would be you remove
I withdraw myself.
You remove the
You
limit,
withdraw
of
your
ex-
second.
you would remove the limit of extensions. So anyone wanting an extension would be granted extension and pay a $25 fee.
Okay.
They cannot get another extension until that account is paid in full.
Okay. That's what I recommended.
I
That's the
don't
policy.
know what you
That's the
recommended.
policy. I'm not really sure.
Well,
what
it's
I
not really a
recommended,
policy yet because we're operating under a one-time extension right now.
but- Right,
So,
right.
Once
But we
you-
gotta remove that.
Once you grant an extension, they're not eligible for another extension until that count balance is paid in full.
Right.
All late
Can't
fees,
overlap.
reconnect, whatever may be out there. Once that's paid in full, you're eligible for
Say
another
exactly
extension.
what you want me to say.
That was,
If you make an extension, 6 extensions, it falls under this policy and does the exact same thing.
That's
If you add a
exactly
6.
But if you say 6 suspensions, they gotta keep it up. They
Yeah, I
gotta
would-
keep up with it
I would
instead of
take the
saying.
limit off.
Take it off.
I would just take the limit off, and you're eligible for ever how many extensions you need, as long as the balance is paid in full before the next extension is granted.
Paid in
Got it.
full.
All right.
You all right with that?
I'm good with that. That's the same thing.
I make that a motion.
Second it.
Okay, your motion is to go with the recommendation of the city manager that the previous balance has to be paid before you can receive another extension. And all fees.
Yes, sir.
And all fees.
All fees associated.
And all fees associated. Okay. There's a motion. Is there a second?
I second it.
Okay, motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion approved. Okay.
But we do pay the cutoff.
All right, real quickly, some of our upcoming events and meetings. Tomorrow, July 22nd, starting at 8:30 a.m. at the Albany State University Cordele campus will be the UGA Propel Ramble. This is the opportunity for those cities that participated in the Propel program to visit some of the sister cities. We'll be hearing from quite a few community leaders, including a bus tour. So that is tomorrow, Albany State University, beginning at 8:30 a.m. Downtown Development Authority meeting is Thursday, July the 23rd at the Main Street office, 8:30 a.m. Board of Zoning Appeals is Thursday, July the 23rd, 2026, here in the courtroom at 10 a.m., if that is still in existence.
That needs to be repealed, doesn't it? That needs to be canceled.
I don't think we have anything on the
For
agenda.
that meeting, our next BZA hearing will be August the 27th.
Okay.
Okay, so based on what we just passed, though, that will now come before the commission.
That'll come.
That'll come on our regular our regular meetings.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Is that going to be, just asking that, maybe clarify, will that be our first or second meeting? We don't need to have it, you know.
Needs to be on the second meeting.
Adopted it on the second reading, it's in effect right now.
That's right.
Yeah.
So it's in effect right now.
I think Commissioner Singletary is asking which commission meeting we're going to have
Yeah.
the BZA, the
The
second one.
second one would
Yeah.
be what I would suggest to the commission based on department heads' reports being on the first one.
Right.
That's correct. Okay. Okay. The Chamber Board of Directors meeting will be Tuesday, July the 28th at the Chris Regional Hospital Boardroom at 8:30 a.m. And then public hearing for the FY '27 budget will be Thursday, July the 30th, 2026, here in the courtroom at 6:30 p.m. Some of the city updates and actions. I request approval for a called meeting. I request a city commission meeting beginning, our meeting on August the 7th, 2026 at 9 a.m. for the final approval of the FY '27 budget. This will satisfy all the posting requirements and public hearing notices.
I'm gonna ask to move it to the following Monday, because it says 1 week, it doesn't say you have to do it in 1 week, but I wanna ask that.
I won't be available the next Monday. I looked at my calendar, so that's why I was going with this one.
Yeah.
I got a doctor's appointment out of town that day, so
What about that Tuesday?
I have to look at it. I'll be everywhere.
I really believe this is our first budget that we've done, and given all the ramifications of it, I think that every member here should vote. And that's just my thought on it. So.
We're following within.
I mean, I pretty much know it's going to be approved, I feel like, but, you know, at the same time, George needs to, Commissioner Singletary. Yeah, needs to be here to vote, and so does Mayor Pro Tem Shepherd, so. And if you keep going on down a little bit further, I'm gonna be gone, so, you know, hey, you know how that goes.
I'll see if I can reschedule my appointment. Just do it the day they want to do it. I just reschedule my doctor's appointment.
Is there a time that is better for you,
What time?
Commissioner Shepherd?
Yeah.
In the morning, that
In-
morning, I got an afternoon appointment.
You got
that's
an
good
that
afternoon
morning.
appointment on that Tuesday, which would be,
Let's do it at
That's
Monday
a-
morning at 6 o'clock. How's that?
You won't have me here.
We could do Monday at 9, can we, Commissioner Shepard?
Okay,
so that's the 10th at 9 o'clock. Does that work for you?
okay. I'm putting the calendar.
Okay. Okay, so is that in motion form right there to have a call meeting on August the 9th at 9 a.m.?
9 is
I mean
10th.
10th, August the 10th at 9 a.m.?
That's, so moved. That's a motion.
Okay, motion, is there a second?
I second that.
Okay, motion and a second, all in favor?
Nah.
Motion for a called meeting for the budget, the 27 budget on August the 10th at 9 a.m. Okay,
Okay, lastly, I emailed you this information last night, it was received yesterday afternoon, but this is ARPA change order number 1. We're requesting approval of ARPA change order number 1 to connect the sanitary sewer and manhole located at 17.5 Alley and 10th Street. This was actually a phase 2 project that was omitted. We do have sufficient funds available in phase 3 to make this connection, and the cost is $11,787.50. Requesting your approval to accept change order number 1 on the project.
okay. Got a motion and a second, all in favor? Okay, motion approved.
And that's all I have unless you have any questions.
I got a couple.
I got a couple, okay.
I got a bunch of questions.
I got one for real.
Mine really is directed for the chief, but he's not in here. But since he's not in here, I'm gonna direct him to you.
Okay.
All right? I don't really need to tell anybody about the break-ins that we've had yesterday, or the day before. I think it was 18, and 16 of them had busted windows. Like most people, they have a high comprehensive deductible, so that's coming out of pocket. Okay? So, the questions is this. First of all, I know that we have a curfew that's in existence. And at the start of this summer, back in May, we discussed that curfew, and the question was brought up. What was said is that they were going to enforce the curfew completely this summer. I'd like to know how many cases against curfew violation has been made, because I'm absolutely certain that there's been a lot of kids out there walking with hoodies in the neighborhoods at 2 o'clock in the morning, and they have. That's what happened over here. What we have here is, I've been chastised for using the word it's a war. Okay, well, that's what it is. So I'll take that for whatever it's worth. It is a war. We've got to protect our people. Okay, we got to protect our people from whether they're in gangs or they're just kids out here doing something malicious, whatever the case may be. Okay, we're not doing it. We've discussed this about how many patrolmen are out there on the streets, and I know that our staffing is a little lower, but a lot of times, and I've seen it, I know for a fact on a Friday night, we've had 2 patrolmen out patrolling. That is, in my book, completely inappropriate, and we need more people out there patrolling. 2 is not enough for the city of Cordele. And I know that for an absolute fact, because I called 911. How many city police officers do we have on the street? That was Friday, July the 3rd. There was 2 on a Friday night just before a major holiday. We can't go that route, okay? And we've got to change it. I don't know what we're going to do. I mentioned the task force, Mr. Mayor. Okay, we're going to have to get together and put this in place. It ain't going to happen on its own. And they're tough decisions that have to be made, and we got to make them. And I'm telling you now, it's time to make them right now. And let's don't dilly-dally about it.
Mr. Mayor, if I may,
Go ahead.
to Mr. Wright question. Mr. Wright, what is your proposal that the city of Cordele Police Department can do? If you got 100 policemen out there and you have 500 students out there, 500 young people out there in the middle of the night, what do you expect? The police department cannot monitor the activity of the whole city of Cordele every night. We don't have the staff. If you had 500 policemen here, we couldn't do it. They're not gonna call the police department and say, we're gonna go break windows tonight, or we're gonna go shoot up Mr. Felton's house, and Ms. Sherman's house, and Ms. Johnson's house. They don't call the police and tell them we're gonna do these things. So I wanna know, how do you expect the police to respond when they don't know where they're gonna be? They might be in my neighborhood this week, your neighborhood next week, they all over the state. It's not just one isolated spot.
You want
So
me to answer
how do you expect them to monitor
Let me
that
start by saying this right here, that 90% of the crimes that are committed in the city of Cordele are committed on the west side of town.
True that.
Okay?
True
That
that.
without a doubt.
True that.
Now, you represent one section of
That's
that.
true.
Mr. Finn represents the other, and I represent all of them.
Okay?
Okay, but let me say this, we gotta start somewhere, okay? And let me finish. For us to just sit back and say, oh, well, we can't do anything. Patrol more on the west side. I'm all over this city every single day, all day long, everywhere you wanna go. JoJo is all over this town. And I can tell you without any reservation, since I've been in office, maybe 5 times that I've actually, unless they were called, because they were called over Pickens Pool one time, do I see a city police officer patrolling the west side of town. Now that, my dear, is a fact, okay? That's from my viewpoint and what I see, okay? We need more patrol on the west side. They need help over there.
So we need more policemen in Cordele.
Well, I mean, whatever we gotta do, but we gotta do something. We can't just sit here and
What's
sit
the
on our
total
hands.
number of policemen in Cordele now?
We have 44 in the police department. I believe 27 of those are in the patrol division.
Patrol person, not the,
That's a patrol division, I believe 27.
and how many per shift do we have?
You have 3 shifts. That would ideally, and that includes all your captains and everything else, but right now, we only run about 4 per shift right now.
Can we redirect more to the evening
That-
shift, the night shift we want?
When I say 4 per shift, that's how many would be allocated.
Okay, can we put, like the day shift, could that be controlled by the senior officers and those who sit in these offices to get out and work and let these people who work in morning shift, put them on the evening shift, move them?
That would be,
Mr. Mayor.
that would be a police
I
chief
was
question.
gonna-
He
Mr.
knows
Mayor.
Okay.
about call volume way
I'm
better.
not against that.
Okay.
Yes, go ahead.
Could we just not get Mr. Wade to go to the chief, sit down and work up a plan to see what they can, and then bring it back to us? Because they got the chief's got the expertise in this, okay? If we start removing police from day shift and putting them on night, we're doing this, we're weakening that. For every one person on that shift, you got to have 3 in case for one to take off. Okay, it's gonna happen.
Okay,
Okay, so you down to 3.
okay.
All right, then if something happens with the amount of calls they're getting, it's outrageous the amount of calls they get. So I think that with the budget where it's at, and I hate to say this, but with the budget where it's at, we really gonna have to buckle down and depend on the community to help us. Okay,
Bingo.
there's a little camera I use, it's called the Wise. Oh, you can see everything with them things. You set them up right, and they're easy to set them up, okay? But the community is going to have to get more involved. I think with the tip line that we mentioned, that would be a big plus to put the police or the sheriff, on there. They can get the call in there. We can pay for that with SPLOST, which we have money with from 18 and whatever there. Jumping out here saying that we're going to do this, okay? I agree, something has to be done, okay? But I think more educating the community, getting the community more involved, and I think Chief Hicks is doing that as best he can, okay? Have less officers sitting in the office will also help the situation. That's just my view. But we need to really get with Mr. Wade and direct him as we do, and let him get with the chief and come up with a plan and see what we can do. How much money would it take? Where's money available, maybe it's something, to hire a few more officers for night shift? Something along that line, but.
Are there any grants out there we can request for more coverage? You know
Well,
what I'm saying?
that being
can we
speaking,
reach
we're
out?
talking to a grant writer, as we talked before, we're talking to one, and all this is coming in play. Yeah, I hate that we just can't jump out there and put 25 cops standing on every corner. I hate that, but we can, okay? We're a small town, but we depend more on community. We always have, just like you're doing with the sheriff. I know Ms. Grant's been active in a lot of stuff. That's community stuff, and if we got community behind the police, then we're doing good, okay? And the sheriff's backing us 100% when he can,
See something, say something. 1984 to 1988, when I was with the Chris County Sheriff's Department, the city of Cordele had 4 police officers on at all times, usually 5 and 6 on the weekends. That's a fact. You can go back and research it, but I've just talked to retired police officers, and that's exactly what they said. The sheriff's office at the time only had 1 on. Okay, I know, I was one of them, one person to cover the whole county. So, I ain't talking about putting 25 officers out there. That's the point of you would get ridiculous. What I'm talking about is increasing the number of people that's on patrol to at least 4. The standard in the United States used to be 1 officer per 2,500 people. That's in the city of Cordele, roughly 10,000 people. That's 4 folks. That used to be the standard throughout the country. The sheriff's office has that. Okay, we need to have that. We need more upgraded patrol, and we do need, exactly as Ms. Shepherd said, and as Georgia said, more involvement from the families and calling in. I agree with that 100%. See something, say something. I'm not dismissing that in any manner, but I do know this: we need more boots on the ground, and it's time to get at it. So.
Commissioner Wright, I couldn't agree more with you. One of the issues we face, as you all know, we've had a high volume of vacancies in the police department. So regardless of how many numbers we have in the manpower allotment, we could add 100 new patrolmen. If we can't fill the seats we have allocated, there's no sense in having an excessive amount. Right now we're nearing that. I think we're down to about 2 vacancies in patrol. With that said, the vast majority of those are new officers. They have to go to the academy. They have to get trained, they have to go through field training. So even though we may be nearing full staff, boots on the ground, we're still at a reduced staffing level. But we're getting there. I think one of the things you heard Chief Hicks say right after he made the press release with these break-ins is we're adjusting shifts, we're adjusting schedules to help resolve these matters. So no one is sitting back and just saying it's going to happen. They are being proactive.
I get that. I know that other things has happened throughout the course of this year.
Yes,
okay, so for me to sit here as a commissioner and not say something, okay, would be wrong of me. That's what I would be doing then, is ignoring what the people of Cordele and Crisp County, for that matter, are sitting there telling you.
Right.
Oh my God, they broke in this poor woman's car right here, busted out 2 windows. One wasn't enough; they got to bust out 2. Okay, so. Who they gonna look to? They're gonna look to us. They look to the people that they elected, and then they're gonna say, "Well, why ain't you doing something about it?" Well, okay, let it be said that I'm doing something about it right here, right now, today. And I get your efforts. I'm not. Hey, I get your efforts. I get the chief's efforts. I'm just saying we got to step it up. Whatever we got to do.
So
figure out a plan.
Here's the question: in order, based upon our current budget and current staffing, is that budgeted enough to get 3, 4 people on patrol if we get to our budget? Because now's the time to address budget issues or staffing issues before we approve this budget. Because I'm a realistic person, and when I say realistic, I already know this budget that is before us is a little better than $2 million short. We have not, a budget is expenses. A budget is not revenue. That is why your fees have been looked at. That is why your water rates have been looked at. That is why we're having to, and taxes and everything has to spread across everybody. We can't target one group of people. We gotta derive revenue from everybody, so not one group of people is targeted. We are $2 million short right now on this budget. Now, if we are going to employ 1, 2 more police officers to be able to accommodate this, we need to budget this to be able to achieve 3 or 4 people on patrol. I guess what we need to see at the next meeting from the chief is what he needs as far as staffing to be able to get us at least halfway of what JoJo's Commissioner Wright's asking to get us out on to 3 to 4 people on a patrol. Because Here's the bottom line when you cut through everything. The city does twice as many calls for service if you go to 911 as the sheriff's office. The sheriff's office has twice as many employees as the police department, doing probably half the amount of calls. If you go to 911, I mean, we are turning close to, what, 2,800 calls for service a month?
Yes.
Isn't it about 1,400 calls, if you look at our report, calls for service that you got police officers turning? It takes staffing to be able to do that. And I know our guys are doing the best they can. And look, here's another part of that. Look at it from the detective's perspective. How many detectives do we have?
We have 3 now.
3. Doing 2,800 calls for service. How are them detectives able to solve a previous crime before they go into another crime with that volume? We don't have the detective staff to solve the appropriate amount of crimes to delegate times before they go into another one. These are the issues that are facing us on a limited budget with a population that is not increasing. So growth is our only key factor to be able to fund some of these needs. Commissioner Shepard, Mayor Pro Tem Shepard and I have been facing this for years. And the truth of all of this is the solutions are things people don't want to hear. The public does not want to hear the word consolidation. The people do not want to hear the words merger of services. But when you have expenses here, population here, and expenses are growing up and population is not, the only way to attack expenses is merger of services.
Amen.
That is the only way to attack it. And if we cannot get control of the city of Cordele with the staffing that we currently have, with the money that we have, that is what we're going to have to look at, merger of services. Because if we don't have population growth to overcome cost, then we got to cut expenses, and that's merger of services. We need the chief to come up with something about getting patrol officers up. Is it the next meeting okay with everybody?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else for?
Yes, sir, Mr. Wade, I have a couple of items. I've been receiving several phone calls and concerns of the 12th Street paving project. The community, the churches, everybody in the Gillespie Southern District is so upset that the road is not completed yet.
Yes, ma'am. 12th Street was a little different than some of our other LMIG projects. It was a total reclamation where it had to be ground all the way down. During that time, they had some water line issues in there. Public Works had to go in and make those corrections when they were doing or making those repairs. While they were doing that, Griffin pulled out to go to another project because they were sitting there basically waiting on us to get finished. It's my understanding they have now finished up that project and they will be starting on 12th Street this week.
This week?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I've been receiving night call, day call.
Yeah, 12th Street was a little bit more than what we've done to the other streets where we just going in blacktop, and this was a total reclamation where they ground it down and started over. And because of some of the issues that occurred over there, of course, Griffin had other obligations and contracts, so they had to pick up and leave, finish that, and now they're coming back. So 12th Street should be getting started this week. Scott, is that still the plan?
I understand. I'll double check with Cody today.
We had this conversation yesterday, as a matter of fact.
Yep.
Thank you so much. I can tell there was a problem with the street and they had to reason, okay, see, no one knew what was going on. They just left.
Yes, ma'am. It wasn't just a simple.
Because I had to go to a church over there and they just move signs so we can just go over to the area just to get to the church. That's a historic church in that
Yes,
area.
ma'am, it is.
Thank you all.
But they're doing a little bit more work on that road than they are the others. Instead of just simple blacktopping, it's a total grind down and reclamation.
Mr. Mayor, one question. Mayor, Oh, you can go first.
Let Nara go first.
711 18th Avenue. Have we heard anything yet on the landowner?
711 18th Avenue, the overgrown lot.
Uh-huh.
Codes has reached out several times to the owner of that property. It's my understanding it's been sold at a tax sale. The new owner cannot be reached. And of course, we cannot go on private property and cut the grass. I know that's been requested several times, but we just can't go on. There's a process. We can cite them, bring them up here in the court, and the judge can give us the order to do so. But until that happens, we can't go on private property. I will check with codes again to see if they've made any headway with contacting the new owner.
Yes, because this has been ongoing for
It sure has.
before I got here, so.
Yes, sir.
And also, we need to let the public know that we are cutting grass as much as possible. With the rainfall, grass growing overnight, 'cause mine grew overnight, look like. I mean, sometimes my grass look like be cutting every other day. But the rainfall in certain areas, the grass grow faster. So the cemeteries and the sidewalks and the roadways I know it look horrible, but just so much they can do. And then the extremely hot, we can't put them out there in that heat.
One more thing, but the building over there on 11th Street that just looks like a disaster.
Virginia.
The gin.
Yeah, have we got any progress or know anything further?
Chief Hicks, y'all instructed him to bring a report at the first meeting in August, so I don't know what he has found.
Okay.
Thank you.
One more.
No, it's my turn.
Yeah, be quiet.
It's my turn. Hold on. You had one. I'm gonna get one.
You have six chances.
Keep that running, bro. 6th Street and 9th Avenue, there's down there where the Sam Short line is, there's a building completely gone down there. The roof's caved in and everything. Can we get codes on that? If we can find them. And then over on 11th Avenue East, there's a house that's been tore down. It's been sitting there since I was campaigning.
You know, the block of 1100, just roughly.
It's between 5th Street and 4th Street.
11th Avenue
Yep,
East,
5th.
between 4th and 5th.
Fourth, yeah. It's right down there on the left. You make a right on 4th.
Okay.
Nara.
Okay.
You
Have
ready?
they started putting out lighting yet or not yet? Okay.
Did
Well,
did you finish your list with Chief Hicks?
I've been gave him that,
Okay.
yeah. He said they was gonna start putting it out, but I
check
ain't
with
seen
him.
where he started yet.
I'll check with him and see, because, yes, sir. That
I
was,
got one more
that was
quick
100
question.
that was 100 additional street lights, so we were trying to get that.
Yeah, update us on what's been done on that.
Yep.
One more quick question.
Okay.
29th Avenue, you know where I'm talking about, with the big old hole in it.
Yes, sir.
Have they done anything to it?
Scott, do you know, are you aware of that?
No, sir.
Okay.
This is the first time hearing of this.
A couple of weeks ago, spoke with Marcia and Kobe about a storm ditch over there that's eroded away. It's a 30-inch pipe. Kobe was having difficulties locating the pipe. He had found one, and it was supposed to have been resolved a month or so ago, but because he couldn't find the 30-inch pipe, he had to find another vendor. It's my understanding he found one in the last week or so and was supposed to go over in that area. And
It was supposed to have been resolved a decade ago, because he was working on it 10 years ago, and it still ain't been resolved. Now, those things like that right there, I think our learned attorney down here will tell you, or I don't know exactly what the word is, but they're an attraction to children.
Attractive nuisance.
Yes, attractive nuisance, that's the word. And that's a serious attractive nuisance right
We
there.
already have LMIG,
Yeah.
LMIG, yes, sir. We already have LMIG funds available to repair that area.
Okay.
Since nobody's heard about it, have we heard anything about the alleys? You know, getting them clean. What do we need? Equipment. How we doing on the alleys? Because, you know, our goal was to have the trash cans back in the alleys July the 1st, but we just got the director. So,
Yes, sir.
I mean, there's leniency on that.
Scott, can you give us an update on the alleys, first meeting in August?
Yes.
Yeah, on the alleys and this pipe on 29th Avenue?
And Holly,
Thank you very much, we appreciate that.
since we're slinging stuff out, Holly, half alley. There's stuff's been there since before I was walking the streets, you know, campaigning. I mean, I walked by it and I went, wow. Told somebody, I came by this morning, just turned my head left and there it was. It has grown though. I think it's producing more.
Holly have.
And I know certain code folks have been by that road.
Okay, anybody else got
I
anything?
get started on West Time next time we come.
Okay, all right.
One of the issues we have a lot of illegal dumping going on. We have a lot of people, not necessarily illegal dumping, but putting items out themselves at their houses that Advance won't pick up because it's outside the scope of the contract. And we have gotten into the habit of going around and trying to accommodate those, and it seems like the more we pick up, the more we generate. So we're slowly getting back in the trash collecting business. At some point, we're going to have to start putting some teeth into enforcing the piling of the trash on the side of the road.
You're doing a wonderful job, David. I just want to throw that out there, all of you. You're doing a great job. We have a great appreciation for the efforts that you go through in every department. Yeah, I'm not here bashing any of you for any reason. I ain't bashing the chief or anybody else. You're doing a great job with the resources that you have in your hand. What I'm saying is we got to get more. That's what I'm saying.
Understood.
What you're facing with the trash issue, the only solution is to get it. That's the only solution. Commissioner Shepherd, Mayor Pro Tem Shepherd and I have been, there's always going to be the pointing between Public Works and Express. There's been that ever since it went to contract. So if they don't get it, we have tax-paying citizens and we need to get it. So if you need more resources for us to get it, then we might need another gravel truck. And we might need another Public Works. But until we pick up this town, we're not going to clean up this town. And eventually, if we get it, people are going to run out of trash to put out. But if we don't get trash, but until that day, trash breeds trash. If we leave it, it's going to breed it. So the only solution is to get it.
I agree, and that's the stance I've taken. We've been trying to get it. As the calls come in, we're trying to get it, but it seems like we're chasing our tail. As soon as we get one pile, somebody's dumped 3 more right behind it.
I understand, but there's a county commissioner here that might listen that we might need some relief on some trash service. If we go to picking stuff up, they might give us a little relief.
Bit of break at the landfill.
Yeah, landfill tipping fees might be waived if we do a campaign, but I'll leave that alone.
You mean they charge us?
They charge us.
Yes, sir.
It's an IGA.
They charge us, yes.
Oh, y'all know y'all dirty.
They charge us.
Would you please look and see what's going on with the AS Cloud campus for me?
Okay.
I see trees up there, like they digging up everything over there, so I was just curious what's going on
They charge us
in that
everything
property.
we dump out there.
It looks awful, but like they're working over
Y'all
there.
dirty. Y'all dirty.
Yeah, so we pay tipping fees to the.
They pay tipping, so everybody knows the city gets 50 years free trash service. So your garbage in your green containers goes out there to the landfill free. Because the city sold its portion of the landfill to the county. That's another agreement. The county gets paid for anything carried out there as far as debris. So your yard debris or your gray debris that's in the alleys, the city has to pay for that. So when a city resident just goes out there and puts all this construction debris,
Yes.
and we pick it up, we have to pay for it. That's why the city always tries to tell you, if you pay a contractor to do work, your contractor should clean that up and pay the tipping fee. That's why we go through codes on that on the construction side. The city shouldn't be responsible, our taxpayers shouldn't be responsible for hauling debris off from your remodel. Your remodel should be paid for by you and your contractor.
Great.
So that's some of the problems that we are running into.
How much money did we get for the county when we sold out like that?
I don't know, before me, a long time before me.
Well, we run out of that money, so we're gonna need a little help.
Okay, anything else?
We're gonna spend that.
Okay, thank you, David, we appreciate you. Thank you. If you can sit down.
Might as well make it 3 hours. It's about there.
We might as well. City Attorney's report. That was a good move. Thank you. Is there any need for executive session?
I don't have it.
Acquisition of property.
And personnel.
So we need,
We'll give you executive session for acquisition of property.
okay,
Potential acquisition.
potential acquisition of property.
I make a motion. And
Okay, is
personnel.
there,
And personnel.
okay, so,
Property and.
Oh.
And personnel, yeah.
make the motion.
Go ahead, Judge.
I make a motion that we adjourn the executive session for property and personnel.
Okay, for property and personnel. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Is there a nay? Okay. Okay, session.
So move.
Second.
Okay, motion and a second. Okay, I would like, before we entertain a motion to adjourn, I do believe that we need to vote on our discretionary funds that was designated back during the city manager's report, where Commissioner Shepherd was pledged $1,000 for the sheriffs and $500 for the wiffle ball. Commissioner Finn, he was going to use discretionary funds of $500 for the sheriff's roundtable roundup, and $500 for the wiffle ball. And then Mayor Rainey was going to do $500 for the sheriff's fund, and then $500 for the wiffle ball.
Okay.
What were you gonna do?
I did 500 on the wiffle ball.
500
You
on
never
the
hear me
wiffle
in my
ball.
share?
And I've had 500 on the sheriff.
Okay.
Just so point of record, Mayor Rainey, I'm broke because the predecessor, according to Mr. Wade, spent my money. So,
Are you really?
for real. That's what he told me. He said, yeah. So, that's okay. I'll catch up. Don't worry about it.
I did note that there were 5 members of the city commission. That's just enough for a wiffle ball team.
So what?
You just need oxygen between second and third.
I'm gonna get some young police officers to be a part of the wiffle ball team. That's what's gonna happen. We're gonna get young ones.
Mr. Attorney, I need for you to make a pledge too. I need for you to make a pledge
Y'all
for my
pledge?
sheriff,
Oh, okay, good deal.
from your associate, from your group. Okay, thank you.
Well, my 500, that'd be one team, see, it'd pay for it. See, you ain't gotta do that.
Okay, so is there a motion to approve those?
So move.
Second.
Okay, motion and a second to approve these discretionary funds to fund the sheriff and the wiffle ball tournament.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion approved. Okay, is there a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
I gotta go serve hot dog.
Meeting
Look here.
adjourned.
That's the most important.